Hey again, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if the today command still makes sense. Right here. Yeah, that's fine. I think we can delete the backup download though. But yeah, hey Darkstorm, Xanis, and Oppressal. We are going to just file all the miscellaneous tasks. Again, I don't expect there to be a ton of like game progress or anything anytime soon. Yeah, this is good. Did the bot post my content announcement twice? It didn't. Interesting. So it's not a permanent thing that happens. It's just a sometimes thing. I'll write that down. It doesn't happen all the time. And after happening, it isn't guaranteed to keep happening. Maybe just throttle the call. Yeah. Whew. All right, lots and lots of stuff to do. Hey, Mudkip. Yeah. So design how it would look to level up adventurers using items instead of the guild. Okay, I like writing all this stuff down in a scratch pad, so I guess let's just write it here. This isn't. All right, so problem, or well, not really a problem, I guess, but topic, how do we level up adventurers? So original plan was you have a guild and you level through there, and all adventurers are always the same level. So potential new plan, adventurers need items to level up. All right, gotcha, Darkstorm. Yeah, so I wanna figure this out a little bit. So many ways of doing this. One is they could work like quests in that they want a certain number of some item in order to level up. They could just need a certain value of any item to level up, e.g., consume $100 worth of swords. I don't know what it consume means, but like equip $100 worth of swords to level up. Yeah. Uh, okay. I think this is an interesting idea. I've got to say that it doesn't change too much functionally about the game to the point where it's probably not worth doing in checkpoint number 2. Hey, Matt, you liking the game? Yeah, I wonder if there's been more feedback in general since. Yeah, 36 responses. Okay. Yeah, this is how much. Oh, wait, this is Idle Ascendance. I was like, this is how much we got for Idle Ascendance. Of course it is, because it's Idle Ascendance. Where is the Skeleseller one? Yeah, so how many did we get? Might not have been 36. It's at 28. Yeah. Gonna max everything out first, but almost there. Okay, yeah, cool, 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 cool. So I like the idea of doing things this way. For one, it makes use of items, which is what the game is focused on, and it does so specifically with items rather than with money. Two is that it gives you a reason to seek out certain items, or it might give you a reason seek out certain items. It makes more sense to have individual levels for adventurers. It allows you to invest in specific characters. And there was something else I was thinking of here. Oh yeah, it solves the problem of having different levels and not being able to grind back up to the max level that you have so far. Yeah, I think the problems are I don't know what this system will look like. And I don't know if it'll be too complicated. Like clicking a button to level up is as simple as you could possibly get. Actually, maybe the simplest is just earning experience to level up. Yeah. Could just take the items from the instance. Although that involves them being there, which is probably not a good idea if they're low level. I want to find a way to make this work. So I want to think about this a little bit more. This idea of adventurers being like quests. I think part of the issue with this is you might be running a bunch of dungeons and then not getting any items out of any of them because they're just going toward your adventurers. And needing specific items might be a little annoying too. If you need to spend money to battle and then the adventurers steal your spoils and you could soft lock. Well, there are ways to prevent the soft locking. Like we could always have a way of turning off the level up progression so that you could just be like, all right, my warrior does need 3 diamond swords and I'm earning diamond swords, but just don't give them to the warrior. Or it could be a manual action that you're doing. So you could decide just not to give it to them. And there'll always be some kind of instance you can go to get some money. So yeah, I think if anything, you could just kind of slow down your progression maybe. Yeah, I like this idea. I like it a lot. We could frame this as equipping items. Although that doesn't totally make sense. That way players are happy with the concept of having equipment. Could just have to equip a particular level item. Oh, this could actually be what grants you stats. E.g., Rusty Sword is essentially level 2. Like +1 attack. I guess it also would have to give you fortitude somehow. +1 fortitude. I don't know, but you have to plan this out. And then like Iron Sword, essentially level 3, would be like +3 attack, +2 fortitude, something like that. Hey again, Nox. Hey, Glaucus. Yeah, this would let you jump upward in level by just equipping the last item or the highest level item in the line of items. I like the additional reason here to move up the dungeons instead of farming low level ones. Wait though, farming low level ones. I think you're maybe comparing against getting experience points. So like our original plan was just you have a guild and it's just a visual representation of this level up button. Darkest Dungeon has a similar system to leveling up. Because I haven't played Darkest Dungeon, but I did watch a quick video on it because someone had recommended that I look at that and some other similar games. I'll just write note. There was, yeah. I want to avoid experience points as a means of leveling up because it means having to grind with a low level character. And it also means never really achieving the same level as your other characters. Yeah, level from equipment level, I think is an interesting way of doing it. I don't like, you always have to sort of functionally think, what does this mean? And in this case, let's say there's, not that the UI is going to look like this, but we have start level 1 battle, start level 2, let's start level 3. Imagine we had start level all the way up to 20, and you're comfortably beating level 17 battles. Well, then you're comfortably getting the level 17 items. And when you hire a new adventurer, they're taking like one item out of the pool and then immediately becoming level 17. At that point, there's no real need for this system. You might as well just say, hey, all your adventurers, yeah, they level up with experience, but, oh, I never thought of that. They level up with experience, but all of them are always the same level. That would probably be the easiest way of doing things. Interesting. Had not thought of that. I mean, if my characters level up from weapons gained in higher level dungeons, there's another reason to progress other than time versus money in low level dungeons. Oh, I interpreted that the opposite way. Oh, got you. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. What about the other pieces of equipment? Yeah, it could be. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is kind of the same thing. Like, functionally, if you just need, let's say, like one weapon and one armor to get to a particular level, then you'll jump all of your adventurers up in level by completing the latest dungeons. At that point, this system isn't adding too much. Wouldn't make sense to be hiring a level 1 hero and leveling them up from there when you're tackling level 17 dungeons. You're saying hire them at just a higher level to begin with? Because it's kind of what I'm leaning toward is like, what if we just had experience points, but a single level across all adventurers? Yeah, I agree. I think there are flaws to a system like this. I feel like there shouldn't be this concept of having to level up new adventurers. Or what if we had a level granted by having found particular items just once? E.g., first time you find a diamond sword and diamond armor, your adventurers all go to level 7. I don't know. Like, wow, your E level is the average from all the equipment level. Yeah, a lot of games do that though, because, or at least a lot of MMOs do that because of the concept of hitting an end game and then there's no more leveling up anymore. So you still need some progression, and the progression comes from items. But in this game, there's nothing stopping you from getting your progression from leveling up. So you could still just level up. And in MMO, you don't want that because a lot of the balance is tied around like what level are you at a particular time. So you want to rely on like, we're balancing the end game around you being at max level because everyone's going to get to max level anyway. Yeah, so how does this sound? And does that make sense? Is that actually worthwhile? You have experience points, so running a low level dungeon might help you. I'm going to write this in the document. Yeah, so what if you just got experience points, but there was only one pool of experience across all adventurers? So they were all the same level. New heroes that you unlock come with a lot of their skills already unlocked, as if you were playing them from level 1. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something to be said for if you have some number, like X adventurers, I don't know how many, maybe like 2 or 3, that leveling them up individually could be fun. But once you get to a certain number, like 10 plus, I don't think it's fun anymore to level them individually, and I think it just becomes a chore. And even with 2 or 3, you might be like, oh, I just got a new adventure, but like I don't want to go through all the levels again. And there are ways you could sort of jump or skip somehow, but at that point, it's like, why even have them do it if it's just mostly tedious? So yeah, I kind of wonder about this experience point system. But then I sort of wonder, okay, experience points are you complete a battle and you get experience points, and it's like a completely different currency if you look at it that way. But we have literal currency in the game, we have money. And so what if you spent money That's the original system we had where you have a guild and you level up the guild. And that way you're choosing between, are you leveling up your adventurers or are you leveling up the town? So I think those are maybe the best systems. The difference between this and the guild idea is that with the guild, you're choosing between your adventurers or the town, which is an interesting choice to make. With experience points, you'd just be automatically leveling up as you fight, which is less interesting, I think. Hey, Yellow Purple. I'm doing well. Today's been a very full day already. Got a lot of feedback on the game. People seem to be having fun. I've got a lot of ideas for what to do moving forward. You could do a little change at the hiring system. What do you mean, Nox? Got my mage almost solo, a level 4. Wait, a level 4? What? There's only level 3. Level 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think the mage is pretty powerful. Probably need to tone down their health or something at some point. Hiring new adventurers that will match the current level of upgrade. Yeah. So that's what's already in the game right now. So if you were to hire a new adventurer, like right now I only have the rogue. The rogue is level 10. If I click hire adventurer, I now get the mage, and the mage is also level 10. So that's the system that doesn't require any sort of grinding. And I like that idea. I think one of the downsides of this is that as soon as you hire someone new, you've got to put in 9 points into something, but that can be kind of fun. Some works seem to be lazy though. What do you mean, Blue Horse? I'm glad you like it though. Mage is the strongest by far, absolutely crushes everything, and only needs lightning traits. You know, I never got the lightning traits when I was playing the game. I always got inspiration because I felt like that was the best. I didn't really look too closely at these, even though I coded them. But yeah, it's probably super powerful. But I like the idea of inspiration because mental swiftness refreshes the cooldown on your ability. So it's like duplicating both of your skills. Maybe this and storm intensity are the best. It's like, yeah. Or maybe something like that. 5-2-2. Make the requirements a higher grindier. Okay, I guess that's something I had never thought of. Okay, maybe we're looking at this backwards. Yeah. Something like this. Okay, so leveling up is the current system. Spend money, all adventurers go up, all current and future adventurers go up in level. But what if hiring adventurers was based on collect certain items? So like to get the berserker, you need to get a, I don't know, golden axe or something like that, or 2 golden axes and a leather tunic or something like that. Problem with this is this would make it so that you're unlocking classes in a particular order that the game defines. Oh, workers. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying some of the code that we did is lazy. Seems even though I have quite a lot of them, only some of them pick the points from the store. Yeah. That's going to be addressed probably in checkpoint number 2. Yeah, upgrade the guild with resource quest. That's what I was kind of thinking about, but actually no, that could yeah, that could work. That could work. So instead of this, it'd be you upgrade the guild with quests, and each upgrade gives you an adventure from a small pool of choices. Yeah. Yeah. I like this. I think this can work. Need the option to respec? Well, good news. You just right click. The game just doesn't tell you that you can do it, but yeah, you can respec already. a nice little hidden feature. Hit 2,000 workers before he gave up. Also, why do they have to be game defined? Just have every fight have a chance to drop all items? I'm not totally sure I understand what you mean by game defined, but to have every fight drop all items, this is just a very early version of the game. So I wanted there to be a clear distinction between the different battles. But in the future, it could be that, I mean, you can't have every fight drop every item because you don't want to be in like the level 1 area and you get some like fiery sword of power that sells for, 9999. That'd be a problem. Broken wrist, let me retype. Okay. Feel bad for me. You retype that. Instead of only sellable resources, you can add building resources at the end of each battle that would be separated from the selling goods. I like that as an idea. I want to hold that though in like I want to table it for a bit, but I think that's an interesting idea. Yeah. Okay. How can we play? Yeah. Check out the today command or that. Yeah. Not what I meant. Got yourself. Okay, I like this. I think this is a good idea. Upgrade the guild with quests, and each upgrade gives you an adventure from a small pool of choices. The quests take items just like the shops would. Yeah, I think that's a good system. You said you'd have to unlock the classes in a game-defined order. Oh, sorry. Let me be clear about this. If I were to code things where in order to get a specific adventurer, you needed specific items, then it would sort of be a game-defined order. But here's what we settled on, and I know this isn't super clear, but you'll have a guild, and spending money will level up your adventures. And then accepting quests will let you get new adventurers from a pool of choices. So you might have a quest that's something like what are the items in the game right now? Get 2 cloaks and 2 axes. And then your pool of adventurers you might be able to pick from is like cleric versus whatever, necromancer. It doesn't, just pick whatever you want, right? Versus berserker. And these can be in any order because their general power levels shouldn't be too much more than one another. So the only thing that the game is defining is when you can complete these quests, essentially. So maybe this requires you to have gotten to the level 3 dungeon or something like that, whereas the next choice you get could require level 5 dungeon. We choose fulfilling the quest though or not. Guild won't just take it prior to shops and storage. Yeah, I think you would have to choose to be able to go through with these quests. But I like this idea, and I think this kind of settles it for me. I think this fits, and it doesn't add any extra complexity. So conclusions after talking about this. Keep the leveling system the same, which is that you spend money at the guild to level up your adventurers, but add quests to the guild for hiring adventurers. Upon completion, you get to pick which adventurer you want to hire. Yeah, they'd be called deliveries. I like framing them as quests. A lot of quests in RPGs are really just deliveries. Like, hey, go fetch me 10 bat wings. It's a delivery, but it's usually just called a quest. And I like the more we can stick to what people expect in terms of RPG stuff, I think the better. We've already deviated in terms of experience and equipment. And it's causing people to ask, not as much about experience, but they're asking about equipment. Like, can I equip things? This is a game about items. Why can't I equip it? So we would need to frame this as like story-wise, this is how you equip your adventurers, even though you don't see the equipment or something like that, kind of hand wavy, but not really. All right, I like that, which means now we need to go lump this in over here. Reconsider a few systems from my first document I sent you. Farming, hatching pets for powers, buffing idle adventurers if they haven't fought for a while. I want to steer away from any major new systems. So farming and pets, I think, would be new systems. And that's actually one of the reasons why I didn't necessarily like this idea of adventurers taking items, because that would be a new system. But buildings taking items is a system we already plan on having. As far as buffing idle adventurers, I feel like that's a side idea that could be applied now or later and not change a major part of the game. And I also wonder, should you, like, do you need to be encouraged to fight with different adventurers? I mean, is this even a thing? Let's say we have like 15 adventurers in the game, and let's say each instance can take up to 5. Then there wouldn't probably be any unused ones because you could just have 3 battles with 5 each. But if we have, let's say, 20 adventurers in the game, then you'd have 5 unused adventurers. And should you be encouraged to use these? Like, maybe, right? Maybe the answer is yes. Any plans to make a video showcasing the game? Just saw you on here and clicked your YouTube and Google Doc. Can't find any picture of what the game looks like. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I have a note to myself to add screenshots. I hadn't thought of a video yet. Maybe add a super quick overview video and mention that it's from checkpoint number 1, so very early on. Yeah, to show you the game quickly in case you're considering downloading it and trying it out. Here's what it looks like. This jumps from 0 to 100, so yeah, there we go. So yeah, here's what it looks like. You are running a town, and you hire adventurers and go into battle. They do battle automatically for you, and when they win, they will put items into your town, which you'll then restock into your shops. Yeah. Like a number of parties against one single boss. Raid battles. Those would be very, very large fights with a lot going on. It's an interesting idea. Oh, Blue Horse, thanks for the, what are these called? Super chats? Yeah, thanks for the €5. I appreciate it. Celebrate on a live stream. What does this button do anything? I think it's just telling me to celebrate. Keep it up. Thanks. All right, I like this. I like this idea. The raids thing I'll write down as an idea. I think it would be, like I said, I think it would be a lot going on. But let me write it down. Make raid battles like a number of parties against one single boss. Should have the game playing in a little window at the bottom or something. Yeah, there was a game, what is it, Rusty's Retirement, that does that. I think for this, I mean, you could always just shrink the window if you want to, and play it, I mean, however makes sense to you, I guess. We could maybe make an option for that at some point, like small mode, where the text gets bigger, but the graphics generally stay the same size, so that you can still play the game. I guess it'd have to, I don't know how that would work. Game's not really designed to be played at a size like this. Thanks, Moo. And yeah, I hope you have fun when you check it out. DLC when? I mean, DLC is just going to be me continuing development of the game. You don't have to worry about a lot of stuff going on. You can just look at the HP bar. Maybe we can just have one giant bar over the whole screen that indicates whether you're doing well. Just cut out the graphics. Let's just make that game. Let's make bar, blue bar, green bar, red bar, and the color indicates how well you're doing. Small mode, I like it. I think I can write this down as an idea at least. These are the kinds of things where if the game never had this, I think it'd still be fine. But yeah, maybe I'll write it down. Maybe an option/setting for small mode that tries to make text readable and only show the important details. That way you can play it while doing work. Oh, Crows, thanks for gifting 5 subs. Man, you're up to 53 subs. Yeah, very, very generous of you. Yeah, small mode with big head. DK mode. I still haven't actually written down this idea yet. I think this is good. So let's write this in the design document. I don't even know where the design document went. I don't have it open. Here it is. So somewhere in here we mentioned the guild. Here it is. Setting the level of your adventurers. The interaction point can be an NPC. Be an exclamation mark when you have enough money to upgrade your adventurers. Guild is probably also where you see stats for your whole town. Oh, yeah. Did I write anything else about the guild? Your town has a guild, and that guild has a level. All your hired adventurers are always at that level. You upgrade your guild by spending money. Did I write how you get adventurers? Huh. I don't think I did. Yeah, it just says all subsequent adventurers are chosen by the player from a pool of 2 or 3. Yeah, so you hire adventurers by doing quests for the guild. These work like the shop quests do. E.g., fetch me. Where's the picture I have? I have a picture of a, yeah, here, this stuff. Okay, we're just going to copy that picture up to here. Fetch me. We'll paste that in. And we'll paste that in. 5 of that. And 6 of that to hire a new adventurer. Yeah. Rationale, this uses items for hiring without introducing a brand new system. This sort of justifies why equipping items isn't a thing. It would be nice to have animation of items flying to town chest. Yeah, what I was thinking is eventually you'll see your adventurers on the overworld. So imagine, where's the town? Here. Yeah, so imagine that your adventurers all spill out of this portal and then they dump all their items into the storeroom. So something like that would be nice. I did not explicitly write that anywhere though, so I'm going to write that down. Yeah. Make sure this is a task somewhere. I'm glad, Yellow Purple. Glad that you're liking it. Today I'm really glad you're streaming on YouTube. Twitch in general is super laggy. Yeah. Yeah, I do plan on streaming to all YouTube and Twitch. Can you upgrade your adventurers? So you upgrade them just by spending money. And I think that's how we're going to keep it. So the way this looks in the game right now is there's just a button, but imagine at some point that you have another structure like a guild building somewhere, and you click the guild building, and that's where this button would really be, level up adventurers. And that's what gives you more health, power, fortitude, and skill points. Yeah, I love the logo too. It's the same one that's in the Skell document. What do those fetch quests include? Include -1 worker? I'm not sure if you meant to say that. Just the implication that a worker becomes an adventurer. Oh, but adventurers are going to be workers. So maybe I've been changing quite a lot. So I understand if not everyone's on the same page here. But right now in the game, there is... I should stop closing this because I need to keep talking about it. So right now in the game, there is a hire worker button. And if I click this, I just keep getting more skeletons out of this portal, right? And they can all go collect items for me. In the future, there's just going to be one worker, and it's you. You're like the main character in the game. And then the adventurers you hire will show up in the town, and they will act as workers when they're not adventuring. So we'll probably balance the game around that concept. So let's say there are a total of 15 adventurers, and let's say then that maybe you want like 12 in use at any time. So it's like you have a total of 4 workers. 3 are adventurers, and then the 1 main character worker that you have. Will they do specific things eventually instead of just wandering? Well, when you get items, like if I do this, they go here and restock your items. But other than that, they don't have any other tasks, and that's probably fine. Like, I don't know if they need to help construct buildings or something. They should randomly go to a tavern. Want to just slack off? Rest up. I mean, the adventurers maybe have a reason to do that. I'm a little wary of having any sort of resting in the game for your adventurers because it's just extra downtime and it probably encourages you to have healers, but then maybe you feel like you need healers. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, so have I lumped this in here? Yeah, I did. I did not go update the guild task though. So let's go do that. Why did this not work? Because I'm searching stupidly. All right, guild. Add the guild. All right, I don't even know if this task is worth doing. Depends on what we decide on leveling up adventurers. Yep. Start with it, just have it cost money to level up your adventurers. I mean, that's always how it would be. Figure out what should happen to the ones that are currently in battle. Do they level up too? We're not going to address that. Okay. There are 2 functions you can perform at the guild. Pay money to level up adventurers and start a quest to hire a new adventurer. Maybe the quest is just always available and you pick when you want to drop off items. Yeah. Yep. I like it. All right, so that's done. Design how it would look to level up adventurers. Got it. Figure out whether quests should indeed just be a choice of 2, whether it'll cause problems. Yeah, so this is interesting. We had this idea of quests at the shop. And it'd be something like collect 5. Hang on one second. Okay, just checking. You have something like collect 5 swords, and then you get, plus 10% damage for adventurers, and maybe it's like collect 5 whatever potions, and that might be like plus 50% speed for customers. So these are permanent upgrades that you get, but there was always planned to be a choice of 2. So what happens if both of these are really appealing and then you don't ever get the other choice that you wanted? Like, how many quests are there per building? Can you get all of the upgrades by the end of the game? Should we just give you 3 choices? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe this is one of those things we just figure out in testing. Or maybe every building is pulling from the same pool of total quests. So you might see duplicates, but what if you don't like the duplicates? Like, what if you never feel like you need the damage boost? I don't know. I think we'll have to figure that out in testing. Yeah. All right. I'll write that down. Quest. Yeah, quest can't be repeated. You get 2 quest choices at a time. Nah, I don't even think I need to write anything. I guess I'll write it in questions. So quest, does it feel good to have 2 choices every time? Do you want more as a player? Do you want... Are you able to unlock impactful things at the right time? You do a quest like adventurers can pick up any type of item. Could be very impactful compared to plus 10% damage. So how do we balance showing those? Is it just luck? I don't have an answer, but I think we'll find out in testing. Something that was kind of interesting, the way Stardew Valley works for leveling is there's a max level of 10 for any skill, and levels 5 and 10 are special. And those are the only ones to give options. So at level 5, you choose A or B, And then at 10, you choose either A1 or A2 if you chose A, or B1 or B2 if you chose B. So you only have two choices you're making. And there's only a total of, whatever this is, 6 different skills, I guess. Could be something like that, where every third upgrade is really impactful and you'll only ever get that choice once. But I don't want you to be forced into any decisions. Yeah, I think that's the important part here. Just like with skills, I don't want you to be stuck with a build that you don't like. But I don't think a concept of respecializing makes sense for quest unless we had a player-wide skill tree and the quests just earn points, which I also don't like. Hey, love cats. Can I ask general advice kindly, since you have huge experience? Want to master using one program to help me organize my projects. Should I go for learning Obsidian or Google Docs if I'm one person? I'd probably say Obsidian. I feel like it's better for just regular note taking, and it's more portable, and that you'll be writing Markdown instead of formatted documents. State isn't saved. Yeah, the state's not saved. Now's a bad time to figure that out, I guess. It wasn't a checkpoint one feature. Yeah, I think Obsidian should accomplish everything you need to do, except there are two things that it doesn't accomplish for free out of the box, and that's sync and publish, whereas Google Docs has both for free. So if that's super important for you, like you edit notes on your phone and you want them on your computer, then you need to either go for Google Docs, pay for sync, or use something like SyncThing. And I'm using SyncThing, and this looks like this. Login. So you can see all my devices here at the bottom. My laptop is off, my mini PC is on and is synchronized, and my phone is synchronized as well. And that way, any notes that I change anywhere will be updated automatically. But part of the way that this works is I always have this mini PC running. So there's always a sync point for all of my other machines to reach. And then I publish using something called Starlight. So all my notes are online, but they're not online in real time. So again, if that matters to you, it's just way better to go for Google Docs. There's also real-time collaboration. So, 10 of you could be accessing this document and typing in different spots if you wanted to. If that's important to you, then go for that. But you can't go wrong with either one. I think just staying organized is important. All right, so we wrote that down. Figure out whether quest should be a choice of 2. I think it's just a question for now. It would be nice to have an animation of items flying to town chests. So here's a thought. Oh, wait, we never answered that question from earlier about the different options. Yeah, what's the answer to this question? If adventurers are acting as workers and they're restocking an item, but you want them to battle, what should happen? Does the battle have to wait for them to restock the item? Do you just have them take the item with them into battle? Or do you have them drop it onto the ground? I'm leaning toward number 2 here. They're still holding the item, but then they go into battle and they just restock the item next time around. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to lean toward here. Probably option number 1, have a delay when they can go back into battle, time to put items in the shop. But you don't directly control them. So even after they've restocked one item, they might be running back on their way here to get another item from other adventurers who just won a battle. And that might be frustrating because you can never like catch all 3 of your adventurers at once that you want to pull. There's no loot threshold. What do you mean by that? Like, yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm leaning toward number 2. They'll just keep holding the item, and eventually you need to just let them drop off the item. Feedback submitted. Thank you. Matt's feedback was going to be positive, and then they closed the game, And Namat's feedback is no saving rage fades. Did not have fun playing. Never watching your stream again. Yeah, I think we'll just start with this at the very least. Figured out how to power level fairly quickly. Okay. Could be a chest that holds overflowing items from looting. But then the problem is that chest is essentially like an infinite storeroom, right? So there's no point upgrading your storeroom unless it takes a really long time to open things from that chest, which is actually kind of an interesting idea. All extra items go to the chest, and it's not until the storeroom is emptied out that they start pulling from that chest. I'll add it as an idea. It's a mutation, I think, of what you were talking about, but it's something sort of like that. Could be a quest upgrade. Add a chest that holds items, holds extra items. But it takes a long time to pull items from it. I'll probably never do this because this is the kind of thing that sort of breaks the game, but it's an idea. Yeah. Could have an expiration time based on battles. Like items will stay in the chest for 4 battles. Yeah, I think my general game design philosophy is if you have a system in the game already and you've got a problem that can be solved by that system, it should probably be solved by that system. So in this case, we have a storeroom, and increasing the size of your storeroom is already a system. So if you have too many items, it probably means you should just upgrade your storeroom some more. And if the maximum, 64 items or whatever this thing can hold, if that's too much, then what we could do is we could say, okay, now your upgrades are this wooden crate turns into a diamond display and can hold 2 items at once or something. And it's like, okay, now you can have 128 items. If that's still a problem, then we just say, well, too bad. There's got to be some limit to, how many items you can put through your town. Can't it be like 1 million per second? I think I liked it without the chest. Balance of potentially losing items and estimating fights is kind of fun. Yeah. At the same time, I like the idea of some kind of like end game where you start getting broken upgrades. Well, broken upgrades. Where it's like, get 10x the number of items or something like that. And it's like, oh, you're at the end of the game. Why not? You can have fun. Oh yeah, stat of lost pieces of loot. We could add that. Yeah, here. Maybe keep track of the base value of the lost loot too. That could be fun. Okay, so adventurers. Let's go find that issue. I'm very strongly leaning toward this. Like, I think we're gonna prototype it and it's just gonna feel right. There's like a 90% chance of that happening. When an adventurer enters a battle, remove them from the town, and if they were holding an item to restock them, then they'll still be holding that item even after the battle. This way, you don't have to wait for your desired party to all be in a state where they're not holding items, which would probably never really happen naturally. There's one other aspect to this. What is it? No, there isn't. I think I need to just make a new issue. No downtime for adventurers, like healing and all that. I'm very torn because one idea would be your adventurers have a life bar even in town and it slowly refills. And the other idea is just always restore them to full. If they have a life bar, I don't know. I like this idea more. I'll say that. I like the idea of them having persistent life and you needing to pay attention to what their life is. But I think this does some bad things for the game potentially. So imagine someone had requested, like, what if there's a repeat battle checkbox where you just say, yeah, I want to go to the forest dungeon, level 1. And you check a box, and now as long as you've got adventurers ready, they just keep funneling themselves into the forest. Well, if your life persists, you might win one battle guaranteed, and then probably the second battle, and then almost never the third battle, and then definitely never the fourth battle, to the point where like this repeat checkbox starts hurting you, but you're not like paying attention that closely to that it's happening. But that's a choice you're making as a player, so that's, I don't know, that's probably fine. Can we get an avatar recreated? Hey Zinka, thanks for the raid. One sec, I just want to respond to this really fast. Sits on top of the storeroom and grows in opulence. I think there needs to be something like this in the game. Not exactly this though. But yeah, welcome in everybody. I just today launched the prototype version of Skeleseller. You can play it on itch. You download the game. And I'll show you really briefly what this game is all about. So let's quit this and start again. You were an adventurer and you died and you came back as a skeleton and you started up a shop. And so this is what the game looks like at the beginning. This is after 1 month of work. So it's by no means complete, but I just want to see, are we on the right track? So I hire an adventurer and then they can do battle for me, and they do battle automatically. So I'm not controlling this. I don't have to choose actions that they're going through. And when they win that battle, so I'll speed this up a little bit. When they win that battle, you'll get items in your storeroom, and then your skeletal workers will go and stock up your shops, and these customers wandering around will then buy the items. So here I just earned $3, and I'm going to earn $3 more here, which will allow me to upgrade my storeroom. There we go. So that now when I do battle, I can hold 3 items in my storeroom. So yeah, this is playable now. You're welcome to give your feedback on it. There's not a ton of content. It's maybe about half an hour or so. And we are just planning based on all the feedback I've gotten and just trying to figure out what's the next version of this going to look like. So anyway, welcome in everybody. Zinka, what do you stream? Yeah, so animations for items entering the town. Got to do this. The trolls set by our leader. Well, you're still welcome in. If you're wanting active management, I know the waiting for health to regen to continue a semi-idle farmer would be enjoyable. I don't think it would be. It would encourage you to pair up your healers with your other characters. So maybe you have a warrior and a rogue that are battling. They'll end the first battle with 85% life, and then they'll go down to 60% or something, and maybe they have a particularly gruesome fight and go to 20%, and then they'll be dead after that. At that point, I guess they'd be forced to recover, but maybe you're like, oh, well, that party isn't working. I'll do a warrior and a cleric, and now maybe they leave every single battle at about 85% life. Web dev building a clone of Shad CN. I don't know what that is. Let me look that up. Open source project that provides beautifully designed components for your apps. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, cool. What encouraged you to do this out of curiosity? Because that this is open source makes me think that it's not to make this more available for people. So potentially it's learning, or because you need different components. Persistent health bars to prevent this infinite repeat cycle and make you rich out of cheap and easy resources. But I mean, that's sort of the core of the game. And I think it's okay to have that. Yeah. All right, let's file this task over here. Backlog. This is technically not a P0 task, so I'll add it over here. Make items fly from adventurers into the storeroom on leaving a battle. Didn't I write this somewhere? Something about like dumping loot on the ground? No, I didn't. Okay, when adventurers come back from a battle, I feel like they should enter through a portal in the storeroom and then just dump all of their items, which would then magically float over to the item displays. Any that are stuck on the ground would probably show, like, slowly fade out and then indicate that you've lost them due to not having space. Yeah. To challenge myself, I want to make a component library. Also want to get back to the fundamentals, so I'm just remaking it. Yeah, it sounds good. Are you doing this in TypeScript? Oh wait, I think you said already, and I just got stuck on Shad. HTML and CSS only. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So there is no scripting component to it. Mining in WoW is still profitable. When the combat was there, were to reset the life bar, there was an energy resource which is finite and had a restoration time. Yeah, I'll say this. They're both ways you could make this, and they could both work. But I think having a persistent life bar probably does more bad than good for the game. And thank you, quote unquote, troll users. Yeah. Hey, French Monkey. And I think, by the way, how could this be first time chat? I think the last time you chatted, it was considered first time chat. Oh no, you didn't chat last time. How did, maybe you used a redemption? I know for sure I saw your name. Oh wait, maybe it was, no, yeah, I don't know what it was. Have the items you can't store poof away. Yeah, I just want them to fade, like flash quickly and then poof away. That way you're like, oh, I could have had this item. Yeah, I don't know why either. Yeah, strange. Huh? Botcoin confirmed. All right, I like this. I don't think this needs to be done immediately, but I think it'd be nice to have. But yeah, I'll put it as a whenever task. Okay. All right. So I like that. Quest reward, show money per second meter. Yeah, I'll add this down to the bottom here. A lot of what I'm doing today is just filing these tasks away. Because like I said, we launched the game today and I'm super happy about this. I'm happy about all the feedback we've gotten so far. It's been great. People generally seem to like it. Oh, skip. Okay, I was gonna say whatever you typed before got caught by the racism filter. So I was like, I'm not sure what they're trying to type, so I'm gonna just deny it. Yeah. All right, yeah, file feedback and ideas, figure out when checkpoint 2 will be. Oh yeah, this one's pretty important. So I had said July 19th just to give us a time, but that's about a month from when I get back and can work again. Because I'm going to be on vacation starting here. You not click days in this calendar? Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, the 22nd, I'm going to be on vacation. And I get back in June, and I'll probably start streaming again on the 17th. And then that gives us about a month. A month is exactly the amount of time from when we started this repo and got all of this progress done. So I'm actually pretty hopeful we can get another big chunk of progress. But we got to be kind of careful because of how many different things are in this milestone now. Where is it? Is this in checkpoint 2? No. How do you see your... Man. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So milestone 3, I think. Yes, this. We're 7% complete. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's the general roadmap here. Do I have that down here? Yeah, Skeleseller work. Private link to checkpoint number 2. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. Are ready to hammer us already? No, it was just me doing that. Also, I think that was auto mod. Always give yourself an extra +1 month. You never know. Well, the nice thing about this is whatever work we end up doing could still be tested and released. In fact, I don't even know for sure that we need to have specific checkpoints. We could do some kind of like general bug fixes and stuff and then just produce it as checkpoint, 1.25 and then checkpoint 1.5 and so on. Is there a link to the game somewhere? Yeah, check out the today command. Um, Yeah, I think we'll have something to release at checkpoint 2. Is there a limit on how many you can have? There is no limit, but there's no real point either. Like you've essentially beaten it. And yeah, sure think. Sure thing think. All right. So, what could we get done from this list in that time? Battle system projectiles. I mean, that's going to take some time. Save system. Yeah, none of these are super easy, I would say. This is no longer needed, probably. Yeah, once we have a title screen, we need this. Do I have something written down about a title screen? No. All right, I'll just say make a title screen. Make a title screen. This is not needed for checkpoint number. Oh, wait, is it? Maybe it is because of loading and saving, right? Yeah, how else would you? I guess you could just immediately dump into the game and then press escape and go to load game or something. It's probably not a good idea. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna need it eventually anyway. Okay, fine. Well, I don't know if it's needed for checkpoint 2. It might be. So create the save system. Allow for loading the game. That probably needs to happen after this title screen. This probably requires number 5. And saving the game probably requires a settings page. 15. This might require number 15. May at least be good to, well, or at least the foundation for it. Yeah. Really need to design a new system for instances. You see a list of dungeons to choose from with extra difficulty modifiers. Or maybe in some sort of map, because why not? What I was thinking of originally is there could just be like you click a portal and then you see a menu of all the different instances that there are, and they're sorted by descending level. Descending level. So you'd see something here like volcano, dungeon, cave, forest. And there's probably no reason for you to ever go to the forest anymore if you've unlocked these other ones. I think the thing about instance modifiers, there there are a couple ways we could look at this. If you consider all these to have a level, and let's just for laughs say this is level 15, level 20, level 10, level 5, then you could look at modifiers as being like, oh, you could plus or minus, why did that not work? Yeah, you could add or subtract maybe like 2 levels from here. So this now becomes really like 18 to 22. And that's one way of doing this. Or you could add in a level 18 dungeon, which is like the minor volcano or something like that. And level 22 could be, you know, whatever the next area is, the stormy plains or something. So this would allow it all to be in one system. Yeah, the outskirts. I want to stick to the philosophy of if we have a system that works for something, to try to use that system. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have on this list? I don't think sound effects are going to happen by checkpoint number 2. I think this is going to be a checkpoint 3 thing. What else do we have? Setting up a new shop. I don't even know if this is a game feature anymore. I guess it kind of is. But I'd probably leave this for checkpoint 3. Same thing with the intro cutscene. And I don't know if checkpoint 3 is going to be beta anymore. I think what we're going to do is we're going to add in another checkpoint. Yeah, I think that's what makes sense. All right, let me write this down. Checkpoint 2 can be July. Checkpoint 3 can be August. And then beta can be in August. Any remaining systems. Yeah. intro to the game, more of a focus on the new player experience, more of a, yeah. It'd be easy to just apply an effect on start. It would be, but what I'm saying is from a player perspective, you would still have to pick like this way is a UI of just picking your dungeon, right? Like where do you want to go? And everything we needed here has to be in the game anyway. If you also then have a button like make it more difficult or like add a modifier, if it's I mean maybe as simplest it could just be a checkbox and it's like increase risk and reward, and it's effectively like, you know, plus 20% difficulty, plus 20% items or something like that. That's not too bad, but otherwise it'd have to be this system where you're like, okay, I gotta understand that there are effects that can happen. I need to know what these effects are, what's going on here. Um, yeah. The intro could be like a Souls game, play to die the first time, walking into town with a poison, eating your life, and interacting with shopkeepers. The intro is going to just probably be a cutscene. I don't think there's going to be any interactivity for it. And it's probably going to be pretty fast. If it's optional, why not? Well, like I said, cognitive load on the player is why not? Like, how much does a player need to understand the system? Well, I'll just say for this system. And there's some amount where you could say it's not a ton, but I've had people ask today, how do I start a battle? And there's a start battle button here. Like that's the kind of thing that I think is important to think about. And I'm not saying that anyone is wrong for not knowing where a button is or not knowing how to play the game, but I'm saying any new thing you add for a player is going to be a little bit confusing to somebody. So that's what I'm concerned with. It'd be cool to unlock new shop locations as you finish existing ones, build your network of franchises. You mean in like different towns or something, right? Or do you just mean like you have an alchemist shop here and now you also have one over here? Because I think the different towns thing would be pulling from different customer bases. Yeah, different town or locale. Yeah. And at a high level, I think the idea sounds kind of good. At a lower level, I think it's like, how do you go look at that other town? Like, is it just, you know, scroll over to here? And are you bouncing back and forth between them? I wanted a lot of the gameplay to be visible on screen at once, which is why like the battles have this dedicated, I don't have money for what I'm doing here. Yeah, which is why the battles have this dedicated area at the bottom, and that way you can see them and the town at the top. Think about expanding the town for like checkpoint number 4. Yeah, I think we would need to have a reason for expanding it. And I think franchises could be something. The way I look at it is if we were to do something like franchises, this would be like DLC content, where it's like, all right, you've gotten to the end game. Now, how do you expand this? Maybe you start a new file and try and we add some more things. And I'm not sure the game needs it at first. And I'm not opposed to it. I do want to be careful about scope creep for a lot of this too, because these systems that we're talking about that are coming up, a lot of them aren't small. Like adding projectiles and effects to the battle system, getting that foundation to work isn't too bad. But by doing this, now every new ability we add to the game needs to have this in mind. Like you don't just add fireball anymore. You add fireball the skill, and then fireball the graphic, and then fireball the impact effect, and then maybe a red tint when they get hit or something. It's like, okay, that's pretty reasonable. I think that needs to be done for the game. Hey, Aviator. Yeah. Everyone just keeps getting poisoned by snakes. It's a real problem over here. All right, so then we have to add in another checkpoint, July and then August. I mean, maybe we do skip this. I'm not sure. A couple hours of gameplay, game resolution, better new user experience. Actually, I don't even know if we focus on that yet. Yeah, add in, so adventurers acting as workers, adventurers existing on the overworld. Those adventurers should be using the same sprite too. Where are my shirts? Yeah, at some point we're gonna need merch. I think it's an issue that we have open. Merch. Yeah, make merch. It's there. Are we the skeleton man sprite now? Yes. I think that's how this is going to be. I think you'll just have the one skeleton, and then you'll have your adventurers acting as workers. You have to manage wares between locales to meet the demand of other towns. Becomes a caravan logistics game. You know what would be kind of cool is having Skeleseller connect to that second game. So you have Skeleseller open and you're playing it, and it's its own standalone game, but there's a socket open to this other game. And your customers, after leaving here, they go back to this place with their $0, and you need to get them money through this caravan system, and then they come back into Skeleseller. I don't think that game would ever do well. You need to buy 2 games for it to work. This is like some Sonic and Knuckles level stuff. But it would be very innovative. You just keep opening new games and they keep connecting to each other. Okay, so July 19th. So at some point we're gonna need a release the new version. And I don't think we have something for that. Multiple instances of Skeleseller, nav between them. Yeah. Is it also not difficult to code? I mean, to connect 2 games wouldn't be that hard. You would just open a socket and you'd have some translation protocol between the 2 of them. What would be hard is designing the game such that that's fun. That's practically impossible. Because why wouldn't it just be one game at that point, really, right? Like you'd have to manage 2 windows no matter what you're doing, and just that alone would add a lot of friction. It would also add to the development time because it's not all in one process. This did start as an evolving RPG. Yeah, right? What were the original ideas of that? God, I don't even remember at this point. I just released my end game plans. No way. All right, checkpoint 2. Let's close out of these other tabs that I have. I want to find where I just wrote that. I don't have it anywhere. All right, fine. There we go. Checkpoint. Add content for checkpoint number 2. Yeah. So I need to make a new backlog task. Oh, we have a bunch of these, which is release checkpoint number 2. All right. Hype up a date. July 19th, question mark. Set up a new feedback form. Upload the builds to itch. Is there anything else we need to do for that? Oh yeah, do more user research. Find someone IRL who hasn't played and get feedback. Maybe do this a week before I launch it to get there, to be able to change stuff. I love the backlog, 46 out of 3. I love if you could choose the type of adventure. Yeah, that's going to be happening. The reason why it's not in the current one is because there are only 3 adventurers. So your choice would be 1 of 3 and then 1 of 2. And then that's it. So I was like, it wasn't really worth coding for that. But in the future, I think checkpoint number 2 will probably aim for like 6 adventurers. So at that point, it's, 1 of 5, then 1 of 4, then 1 of 3, and so on and so forth. And yeah, the choice would be more. It actually isn't going to work like this, by the way. It's probably going to be 1 of 2, 1 of 2, 1 of 2. It's going to be that until you're down to your final adventure. That way, at any given time, you do have a choice, but it's not between every single available thing. No, you haven't missed it. I'll take a break right now. Is it jump time? It's jump time. For those who've never seen this before, you can type join, but only in Twitch chat in order to play. It doesn't work on YouTube. And then J and a number to jump. And you're going to play against everyone else who's joining, and the goal is to get as high up in the world as you can. Have fun. I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we'll continue some of this planning stuff. All right, I did that in the wrong order. I I said close the game before I said I'm back. And I was like, something's wrong. The game just closed. Whoops. All right, yeah, we got this. Good. It's working. Add some screenshots to the itch page. Maybe add a super quick overview video to mention that it's from checkpoint number 1. Yeah, so let's add some, I guess, just kind of made up screenshots here. Like things that don't really exist in the game. Like this. And then we'll take a picture. And we should probably level up the adventurers first. Come on. No, drat. Okay, yeah. All right, there. There's a good screenshot. Look at that. Battle using up to 2 adventurers. I don't care. We're putting it as a screenshot. Save that. All right. Is this the screenshot? Yeah. Oh, does it even have the, yeah, it has the 5 items or lost text on it. All right, we should probably open this up in GIMP and modify it. All right, do this. Grab that. Delete that. There we go. Probably also want to get rid of this. No one will notice that the border overlaps. That's okay. There we go. There's our screenshot. This is so bad. All right, now export as temp idle, or no, it's not even idle. What am I doing? Skeleseller. Screenshot. This is false advertising. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we go to itch. It's not there. Such a good screenshot. Thank you. Thank you very much. I put my heart and soul into it. Add screenshots. All right, temp. And there. Your image is greater than the maximum dimensions. You selected a 4064 by... Okay, so wait, we need it to be this. I can probably just crop out the edges of that. How about we take from here down to... Let's just get that. All right, now I want to remove this. Good. Is that good? It's good enough. We'll at some point have proper screenshots. Yeah, I don't know what the dimensions of this even are. Okay, let's try uploading that one now. Hey, we did it. Save. Okay, so what's this look like now? Oh, a screenshot. Oh, whoops, I left that black box in there. Oh, yeah, the skeletal. Sorry. Oh, wonderful. All right, let's go fix that now. These screenshots are too exciting. Delete and add and there. Okay, that should look better now, right? Yeah. Will we be able to name the adventurers? I don't think so. Yeah. It's I'll write it down as an idea, but this is something where it's like if we were about to launch the game and we had some development time and we were like, you know what, sure, let's add this in, then yeah. But otherwise, I don't think it'd be super important to do. Oh yeah, record a quick video of checkpoint number 1 covering the gameplay for the itch page. Mention that it's a very early alpha being shown. Maybe say the date in the video. Okay. Good. All right, let's keep going with this. Let's go edit the README and say releasing the game. Open Godot. Done. Project export. Project export. Click export all. Hey, Darkstorm, do you have these same options in yours? Does this get saved into the project? I think it does. FF project.godot. There it is. I guess we can just verify this if I search for Linux. No, it's not there. There was, oh, there it is. Export presets. Did I not put that in? Is that in our git ignore? Oh. I think this should be checked in. Why do you not check this in? Because it requires specific paths on your machine, probably. What's in here? Is there anything about Atom in here? No. Why wouldn't this be checked in? I think I want this to be checked in. Check out my new game, Skeleseller. Oh, this looks really good. I've never seen such good image editing skills. I'd probably just make this a little bit blurrier and add some lens flare on the buttons. But then, yeah, rock solid. Gonna go to sleep now, close to midnight. Thank you very much, French Monkey. Yeah, I hope you have a good evening. Well, night, I guess, at this point. I'll probably stream on Monday. But then I think that'll be it. And if I do anything after that, it would be some development. I always have this conundrum. I don't know how I keep ending up in this, but I plan a vacation. And then about 7 days before that vacation, I burn out. It's like, why couldn't I just time that with the vacation? I knew it was coming. So I don't know. I'm not so thoroughly burned out. This isn't like the long-term burnout. I've just been doing a lot. So Monday, I think it's reasonable to stream. Maybe we even do some development. Maybe we tackle some small enough issue. But then I don't leave till Wednesday. I guess I could do something on Tuesday. Maybe that's when I record the video for the itch page. I love the move cow 19ER. It's a good one. This will all eventually look much better. Actually, now that I think about it, where were the Where were the checkpoints again? I closed that probably. Yeah, take care, French monkey. Yeah, at some point we need to focus on polish. Polish everything. More adventurers. Battle effects. Excuse me. Quite a lot to do. Yeah, so I want to check this in. I don't know why people don't check it in. Godot export presets. Just make the gray background match the green of the town border, even without real tiles. Actually, making the town look a little better is probably just a proper task I should add. Because it wouldn't be that hard to just throw in a bunch of grass tiles and then like the occasional tree or something. So yeah, I'll add that as a task. I agree that if we were to do nothing else, that just making it be green instead of gray would be good, but we might as well just, I don't think it'll take a long time just to add that in. I guess it's technically P1. Flesh out the town map. No need to make this look great. I just don't want there to be a bunch of gray nothingness. Also, well, no, that's it. Just leave one thing per or whatever. In fact, I'm going to assign this to you, Dark. I think this is something that can be done with very little oversight or input. Even just grass, flowers, and a couple of trees here and there would be better than gray nothingness that we have now. Yeah. Yeah, I like the battle arenas. Darkstorm made those out of the Super Retro World sprites. And I like them. There's at least something going on here. We can also animate the lava. I think we got animations for that. And having different dungeons, having different locations for each of these, I think is also good. We're going to eventually have it so that when your characters win this fight, they start moving over to the next fight. We can import all the assets. There's an option to include only the used assets. There is, but in Git, we're still going to check them all in if we import them all. So I think we should import just the ones that we end up using. And we might use them all, but let's make sure that we're using them all. Otherwise, we're still going to need to have them in Git. Yeah. Okay, so that part is done. Clamping the camera boundaries. This is a pretty easy win. Clamp camera boundaries. So don't allow moving too far away from the main content in either the town or the battles. A lot of people in checkpoint 1 got into situations where they were panned very far away from the battles, which is problematic. In fact, I wonder if we should even allow you to customize the camera in the battles. Eventually, there are going to be rooms you move between, which is all the more reason for it to automatically pan the camera for you. Maybe all you can do is zoom, but if all you can do is zoom, it's going to get into the point where you need panning. I don't know, but this is at least a good first thing to do. And in fact, this is probably a good thing to also assign to Dark. Maybe there'll just be tasks that I assign that can be done during vacation. Yeah. Remove the zoom from instances. I don't know if removing it is necessary. I'm not. Let me see really fast. Yeah, maybe being able to control the camera at all during the instances isn't really needed. Yeah. Yeah, I'll maybe go modify that. Maybe just remove the ability to pan/zoom the instance at all. Eventually, we'll have multi-room instances and that's when the camera would automatically pan itself. Well, would need to automatically pan itself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, look through feedback. Still got to do that. Things to quick fix. Don't allow upgrading the shop beyond 10. Don't allow upgrading the storeroom beyond 64. These buttons are probably going to change, but they're easy enough to fix, so we probably should just fix it. Yeah, I'll add that as an item here too. Prevent upgrading when it would be useless. Yeah. The storeroom and the shop can both be upgraded. Well, no. You can spend money on both the storeroom and the shop, even when they're fully upgraded. It will happily take your money. This should be fixed. All right, I'll also assign this to dark. All right, fix the font issue, add more classes. I think we already jotted all this down. I'm still a little torn on this idea of manually moving items. I think it's worth testing, but we'll need to balance the game around it. Prefer to have a big pack to choose different sprites from rather than moving in only the stuff I'd be using. Yeah, I'm torn on this because we have a bunch of sprites that I think will just never get used. So they'll just sit there kind of doing nothing. Like we have, where was it? There was the action RPG one. I can't tell where that is anymore. Package 3 maybe? Yeah, like this stuff. Like I don't think we ever need these sprites. They just don't fit anywhere in the game. So I don't think they should be there in the repo. And I think all of these ones too. We have a bunch of characters that are just probably never going to get used. I mean the auto tiles. Yeah, those are fine. You mean the atlases, right? Like this sort of thing? Yeah, that's okay. Well, actually, probably not this one specifically because this is the overworld. Again, I don't think we really need the overworld, but yeah. The Atlas lacks sprites. What sprites would you need? I guess this one doesn't have the chest and stuff, which is strange that it lacks that. But maybe they're in a different pack. I don't know. I would prefer that we just end up putting in things that we use. But it doesn't make too much of a difference. Check the exterior. There are missing sprites that you see in auto tiles. Yeah. I think there's some weird things about these packs. Auto tiles. Godot auto tiles. Some of these are laid out weirdly. No. It's just the ones that I had seen from before. Yeah. I would just say be careful about this stuff. As long as we're not adding in things we're never going to use, I think it's probably okay. And then changing the changing whatever settings so that we only use what's included or include what's used. Oh, that's what I was searching earlier. Why is this in get ignore? See the discussion in this. In short, we need to move sensitive credentials such as Android key store information to a separate file. Was this done already? You can encrypt your scripts now in 3.1? Absolute path specific to my own computer. Export paths should now be relative. Been thinking about this recently. Even if there's no direct harm in having such files committed, I think it would not make sense. I think it makes sense to avoid committing them in demo projects. So is there anything that's eventually going to be sensitive in here? You'll have to wait for this to be merged. Is that merged? It's been 2 years. Add environment variable to define Android key store information. Yeah. So we just got to make sure that this never goes into our file. We're not even making an Android build, so like this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I think I can check this in, and I think I should check this in. Yeah. I'm going to check this in. Delete that. And then revert this. I'm not going to keep fixing this. If this just keeps reformatting like this, then fine. I'll just let it reformat like that. All right, so open Godot, project export, click export all, choose release. Then just wait, I guess, and then run the itch script. Copy file path. Yeah. Run. Oh, why didn't that work? There we go. Run upload to itch. This requires Butler, which I guess it tells you about, and you need to make sure to log in. Yeah. Does that automatically publish to itch? The script does, yeah. So itch released a tool called Butler, and all this does is push to the right release channels. So if I were to run this right now, well, if I were to first export new builds and then run it, then it would just automatically be online. So pretty easy. This is some of the stuff I spent yesterday doing, which is why the commits looked somewhat light, but there was actually a decent amount there. All right, don't save any of this stuff. I'm going to write this down in my VS Code notes. Random tips. You can close all editors without having to say don't save changes to each individual dialog via Command K, Command W, which is close all editors. Just going to copy it from here, copy Command ID. By default. Cool. Hopefully I don't forget that now. Hey, Zaphoid. So let's go check that in. This is really just a README change in the export presets. So add instructions on how to export or release. Yeah. Any thoughts on the issue addressed in the PR? Do we change the battler scene to be an animated sprite and store separate sprite frames resources? I still need to spend some time thinking about that a little bit because I had an idea and I was like, I shouldn't add the bat in for right now. But yeah, I should consider this to be homework too. Use the bat sprite from the PR. Yeah. Okay, all this is done. Okay, so now we got to make sure that we have filed all of this stuff. Won't that be fun? So zooming seems to affect both the town and battle cameras. I think it'd be more intuitive if it was either or. You can drag the view. Yeah. So I think this stuff will change. And then I think we need some indication that there's like some separator, a visual separator. Yeah. So let's add that in. Add a visual. Actually, I'm gonna put it this way. Use blank battle space better. And Moonscript gave me a good idea. Where was it? Yeah, put some empty frames there and put the start battle buttons in the frames. And then you can show how many adventurers are waiting in that area to teach the user how to use the battle feature. Yeah, there could be like a run battle again function or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so when no battle has ever been run, I don't know what we should do exactly. I feel like that space shouldn't even exist. So a portal in the instance viewport? Probably not exactly. I guess there would be a portal, but it wouldn't be the same portal you use to start an instance. So I think we'll have to mock this up a little bit. But I think just having a literal button there like start new battle or rerun the existing battle. Start new battle or repeat previous battle. Not repeat, like I don't want it to make it sound like it's replaying. It'd be a new instance with the same settings as before. So no battle has ever been run. We should probably have some special UI consideration. Maybe the battle section doesn't even show up until your first battle is started. Maybe your first battle spans the whole bottom of the screen. Maybe it just overlaid on top of the town. I don't know what would look best. But then after a battle has been completed, it should just stay there. Like the completed instance should be visible in the battle slot. We could either show the rewards. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we would show the rewards there. You earn X items. Then fade it out and show buttons like start new battle or repeat previous battle. Anything else? The repeat button could have details beneath it for what you'd be repeating. E.g. forest with mage plus warrior plus cleric. With some indication of whether they're free or whether they're available for the instance. Something like that. I don't know exactly what, but I think that needs to be a checkpoint 2 thing. Yeah. I guess I'll copy this into there. Copying a quote. All right, so I can delete this. The point of this is to get all this feedback filed somewhere actionable. And there's quite a lot of feedback to file. So yeah, I think this is going to be covered by that issue. Where was it? Where did it go? Huh. That was something about the camera. Yeah, clamp camera boundaries. Why is this P2? I don't know why I did that. I think this is P0. Yeah. And I'm just going to copy in some of these quotes, I guess. Yeah. Some quotes. Number of backlog tickets is red. Yeah. I don't know what you're supposed to use this for exactly. Like, where do you put the items that maybe you put it in? No. Where do you put the items that you want to tackle at some point in the future? I don't know. I've been putting them in the backlog, but yeah, maybe they shouldn't be in there. Is there like a tooltip for this? No. I know you can use this however you want, and we can just make arbitrary other columns. But I think of a backlog as being everything that still needs to be done. Maybe that's not what they consider a backlog to be. Yeah, black bar to separate the cameras. This is not how I did this. Yeah. Copying some quotes. Okay, clearly separate the town from each battle scene and each battle scene from the other ones. Maybe with black bars or some, yeah, black bars at first. Just some indication that they're separate. Zooming differently. I think we need to lay out the town differently. I think that's a real problem. Like the way this is set up is your items are up here, but your shops are all down here. Knowing that we've given you a longer rectangle than we've given you a tall rectangle, I think we need to make the shops come out of the left and right sides of this. And that way you could sort of have all of it in a line. I think that would be better. Yeah, I guess I'll add an item here. Layout town based on our aspect ratio. The town, let's take a screenshot. Town currently takes up more vertical space than it probably should. Most of the time, you're going to be looking at your storeroom and the shops. Knowing that we have a rectangular view that is longer than it is tall, we should probably lay out the shops to the sides of the storeroom. This may make the travel time much lower for workers / adventurers, such that the game balance is thrown off. Yeah. Also have them use the path. Yeah, that's a different issue. Link this to the prettier town. Yeah. That's a good point. Okay, open item. So this is 120. So 1, this. Similar to 116. And then in 116, we'll say similar to 120. Cool. And then put some quotes at the bottom here. Some quotes. Wait, what was that last one? I like the storeroom. I wish they fit in the window better. Yeah. Oh, and then this quote was supposed to be there. All right, we're filing it all away. I'm gonna be so glad I did this later. I'm not glad I'm doing it now. Where did I put that thing about the border? Oh man, it's clearer, I think. Battle. Yeah, use blank battle space better. There we go. What makes it print out the issue or PR name? Sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. I think just typing out a number sign. Are you saying that sometimes it shows, like if I click this and go to 120, you're saying it sometimes shows in line? I wonder if it's when it's a task. Yeah, I guess it's when it's in a task. Interesting. What if it's just like that? Yeah, if it's in a bulleted list. Okay, fine. Well, let's put it in a bulleted list then, even though it's not a bulleted list. That way it tells you the name of this. That is a little bizarre. I wonder if they did that because of people who type the number sign and don't mean to refer to an issue. It still turns it into a link though. So we covered all those things. Now UI. For example, if I open a shop upgrading window, yeah, originally what I'd planned on for this, so if you click this, it will just keep this dialog open forever, and then you'd have to click the close button. I was originally thinking it would be nice to have this automatically close itself after some time, but the more I think about it, the more I think this should probably take up a certain amount of space regardless of your zoom level. So it would be in the UI layer, but then positioned inside the world layer. And then probably also auto close itself. I don't know. But I think some kind of auto close for that would be good. If you haven't interacted for a while, then close the dialog. That'd be super hard to do. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad. It's just a coordinate space shift. And we have the camera, so we could figure out where it should be. With that said, I don't know how important it is to do that. I think what's more important is just maybe automatically closing this. Because a lot of times you just want to check the price and then you just leave it and like it should probably fade away. Yeah, I'll write that down. This is not a P1. This is not a P0, it's a P1. Auto close the dialog boxes after some amount of time. If a dialog box, actually, maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just that you can't have multiple open at once. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay, so if a dialog box is open for X seconds without any interactions, it should probably close itself. Closing a dialog box should probably fade it out so that auto closing isn't abrupt or confusing. And you probably shouldn't be able to have multiple dialog boxes open at a time. All right, I don't know when this should be done. I'll just say whenever for now. Oh yeah, then open that up and put the quote in. Quotes. Okay, shop upgrade windows at least stay when you click another. Oh yeah, that was part of it. Now it bugs me that I accidentally added in another line break there. All right, I've seen it occasionally where the battle 1 text doubles up, trying to recreate it reliably. Yeah, I want to look into this really fast. Battle system on battle or death event. So on battle ended has an invoke, and this calls into the instance on battle ended here. So we just say private bool has ended, and then if it's ended, error, and then we said this is true. Then we set a breakpoint here, and we ignore everything that it's trying to tell us, and we press F5. Grant a bunch of money, set the game speed to max apparently, hire an adventurer, level them all up, go to the mage and give you all the storm stuff, and then start a battle, and there it goes. That was fast. Okay, so where's this coming from? Take damage. So something's dying that was presumably already dead. Yeah, very likely because the damage is 4.1, and I'm guessing this is coming from lightning zaps. Yeah, so for the life to have already been at negative 10.7. So we're able to find an entity in this. Deal damage. Oh, because we can cast it twice. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh, well, there's that. Remember, there's quest text you might be reading. Yeah, but even if you're reading it, if you haven't touched the dialogue in like 20 seconds, maybe we don't auto close based on time. Maybe we only close it when you interact with something else. Yeah, that's probably smarter. When you open another dialog box, close. Well, I guess only allow one dialog open at a time. If a new one is opened, close an existing open one. So that it isn't using an yeah. Congrats on the early alpha release. Thank you, Coffee. You gonna check it out? Feel free to say no. It's totally fine. I even checked inside the bolt if the target is dead. Still didn't work, even before subtracting health. But this is definitely the issue here, this thing, right? So let's set numcast to a bunch. How much damage does it do? I don't know. Let's just set this to 1,000. So this should always happen now. Yeah. And what do I want to do? I want to go into town. Ready. And I want to grant an adventurer, hire a random adventurer. All right, I want 2 of those. And then that's it. This should be enough to repro this, right? In fact, actually, what am I doing? We don't need to do things this way. We could just do it. Where is it? Get next adventurer class. Here. We just put the mage first. Absolutely nice. Nice. All right, what happened? I don't think I closed this. See, I think doing 1,000 bolts at once should cause this to happen. I want to try this. All right, so we just do start, and then that's it. It should happen immediately, right? Oh, not immediately, I guess, after you use lightning zaps. Oh, wow, 1,000 bolts wasn't enough to kill it? Because of how little damage it's doing? I guess because they're all half damage and it's doing like 0.1 damage per hit. Well, it happened. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely coming from this. And it's because we don't check to see if it's dead. Anyway, I think the fix for this is, well, actually, I think there are a couple things we could do here. One is we could check to see if this was already dead. And then only invoke on died if it just died. So bool was dead. And then if not was dead and is dead. So that's the easiest way. Now this shouldn't happen anymore. But there are a couple of other safeguards we should put in place. Just in case. So start battle. We gotta wait for this thing to die. I should just increase the power of this character. 1,000 bolts isn't enough. There we go. Yep, problem solved. Okay, so now let's also go put a thing in battle system saying that the battle can only end once, just in case there's a problem there. I don't remember whether private stuff goes first or last. Private, actually probably goes last. Private bool has ended. Then battle ended. So on death event, we invoke ended with 1 or lost. We only want to invoke this once. So if has ended return and then set this to true. Technically, this should be part of a separate function, I guess. Private void check for end of battle. And that's where we put in all of this stuff. And then here we just put check for end of battle. Easy. Easy. Thanks to the AI just doing all that for me. Yeah, I think it's good. Now, if it has ended and we try ending it again, then we have a problem. So we could throw an error here. Throw new invalid operation exception. Battle has already ended. So if this happens, yeah, if this happens, set a breakpoint here and figure out which ability is broken. Yeah. So now what's this going to do? So the instance doesn't need to know this anymore. And the lightning zaps. What happened here? I don't think anything should have happened here because I don't think there should be any changes. So what's going on? Hey, Capillara. Welcome back. Thanks for the very, very long resub. What was the issue with compilation on Mac? So I filed the issue and they got back to me and they said this, that if the solution name doesn't match the assembly name, that Godot assumes you have no C#. So it produces a GD script project. And then when you run it, it tries loading the C# that you actually do have, which causes a failure because it doesn't have any of the required libraries for C#. So the solution was easy once we figured out the problem. It was just rename your solution or rename your assembly name. And they know about it and they're going to fix it in the next version of Godot. So yeah, I spent a very, very long time on that. But in the end, whatever, it happened. It might have been needed, might not have been. Hey, Deroxys, thanks for subbing. And I have not been pushing for subs at all, but on days that are celebrations, there are way, way more subs than on days that there aren't celebrations. I appreciate it. All right, this should not be a failure. Yeah. I think that we just need to reload something. And that this should just be fixed. Yellow be gone. Oh, cool, Droxus. Yeah. Yeah. This is silly as the path casing and the solution for the breakpoints. Yep. that was pretty silly. All right. Where do we stand now? So yeah, 1,000 cast. So let me look at this file again. We will just call this 1,000 times get target, and then if the target is null, break. So Bolt could have checked to see on the second cast, is the target dead? And if it is, stop using this stuff. All right, hey Purple Elf, thanks for the raid. Welcome in everybody. I'm assuming Purple only sent quits and nobody else. I better not see anyone else was sent. How are you liking C#? I like C#. I had used it a while ago too. I didn't have any problem with the language. I just feel like it's very domain specific in terms of where C# is generally used, like Unity and Godot and all that .NET stuff you might do. But outside of that, I don't tend to encounter too much. We just launched this like 5 hours ago. This is a very early alpha of Skeleseller. And if you're interested in playing, the link is right there. It is a download now. It's no longer a web game. And the way that this works is you are running a town and you hire adventurers. And what just happened? Oh, I was debugging something. Right. So anyway, you hire an adventurer and then you start a battle and they automatically do battle for you. And when they win that battle, oh, right. I also had it shoot 1,000 lightning bolts and that's why it's lagging right now too. When you win the battle, you get items and your skeleton will go and restock your items to your shops. And these customers will buy the item. And then you use the money to upgrade your adventurers, get more adventurers, upgrade your town itself. So yeah, there's about 30 minutes of gameplay so far. This all represents about a month of work. So not a ton going on. I mean, you see like customers just walking around in random ways and over this gray area. The gray area shouldn't even exist. There's just like 3 battles you can start in the game. Does it include the prologue? No, it doesn't. And yes, that's a corn you see. I think just the health component check for was dead is enough, because in some edge case, 2 effects can reduce health and raise an event. It is enough, yeah. But I think it's important to at least have a backup check over in the battle. So I don't think the backup check will ever get hit anymore, but yeah. That'd be a sick cutscene to start the game. Yeah, I want to make that at some point. The more I think about it, the more I think that even trying to launch this game in 2024 is already going to be quite a challenge. And what am I specialized? You mean like, what did I study? I studied computer science. I wouldn't say I've specialized in anything exactly. And I'd say my jobs were mostly like general tech more so than game dev. Like most recently, I was just working at Google for about 3 years, and that had nothing to do with game dev. And then before that, I was doing my own stuff, which was game dev. And then before that, it was more industry stuff, a mix of game dev and general tech. How far off is a release? At least 6 months. But I think trying to do all this in 6 months is going to be quite a challenge. What corn case it is? Yeah, I've got a case command. Check this out, Pain. At P4, there you go. Yeah, it's a custom case made by a viewer. Although feel free to reach out to them if you also want a case like that. The general timeline of all of this stuff is something I'm keeping in this document, which is private, but checkpoint number 1, I guess we now have a date for it. It was May 17th. Yep. And then checkpoint number 2, aiming for July 19th, maybe, which is, it's 1 month of work from checkpoint number 1 because I'm going to be on vacation for the next month or so. And then, yeah, so that gives us about a month of development time for that. Then August something, we'll just maybe make another checkpoint. Any remaining systems, just see if the feedback is dying down. And then we have a whole bunch of stuff to do for September. Going anywhere fun? Yes, but I have not shared where, and I probably won't until after I'm back. So feel free to ask me once I'm back. Did you ask for advice? Yeah, sure. Sure, Quids. Yeah, so I'll probably share once I'm back. I'm not even super concerned about sharing ahead of time. I just feel like it's best to wait. Not sure we can do this because this is just event driven. Oh wait, I missed a message from Nox. Wouldn't it be better to check for the death of all enemies or allies in the process instead of calling out on every death and end immediately after one side is gone? I think doing it in an event-driven way is better, and I think that's what Dark said too. Yeah. Yeah. So the only way a battle can end is when an entire team dies, and process happens every single tick, which is typically like 1/60th of a second. So you're going to end up checking 60 times per second for the end of a battle when you could just check every time something specifically dies. What language would I recommend you learning right now due to how the market is going? I think the Stack Overflow developer surveys are the best way to answer this. Dev survey. Because this is not opinion driven. This is just stats of the industry. Most popular, I always forget how to find this. Most popular technologies. No, not this. Where is it? Learning to code. Nope, this one. There it is. Yeah. Well, maybe this is opinion driven. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know how the question is phrased. And given that desired is a choice here, that's probably more of an opinion. And I guess so is admired. But anyway, this is general popularity of languages. So I would pair this information with jobs that you find interesting with jobs that are available. So there's some intersection of all of those things. Like you might find a job out there that involves COBOL. Those jobs still exist, but that's probably not interesting to you. And it's probably not all that available. So I would probably consider something in the top 10 of these. But that's assuming you know how to code. If you don't know how to code, then I have a blog post I wrote a while ago on learning how to code. And the short answer is it doesn't matter what you pick. Just pick something and start learning it. If I understand correctly, you worked under Tor? Yeah. Are you on Android Studio right now? I wonder if we knew each other or if we were just vague siblings in an org. Which one would you recommend if you had to advise someone with experience? Yeah, so like I said, I think I'd base it on a combination of what you see here. So it really depends on what job. If you want to do web dev, like TypeScript is a great language to learn. If you don't want to do web dev, you're probably not going to use TypeScript, right? So same thing, if you want to do like systems level programming or lower level stuff, Rust is a great language to learn. If you want to do web dev, Rust is probably not a great language to learn. I know you can compile to WASM. I think you target it based on what kind of jobs you want. I listen to the ADB podcast. Oh, cool. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I was my last day on Android Studio, I think, was October 27th. So it's funny how fast time flies. I look at all the stuff I've worked on stream, and sometimes I look at this and I'm like, wow, that was a lot of work. And sometimes I'm like, this is nothing. Why couldn't I have done even more than this? But yeah, if anyone is curious in seeing this spreadsheet, not that it holds much value, but it's everything I've worked on since I started streaming again. On the stream days, at least. I'm not keeping track of this on days I don't stream. And we've been all over the place. I spent a lot of time working on the bot that's responding on YouTube and Discord and Twitch, and then switching note-taking software, and a small game I made, a code jam, then the prototype for this game, and then the design, and then this game. Yeah, it's been 5 months and 13 days since I've been back to streaming. Okay, so I think this bug is fixed. And kudos to Zaphoid for looking into this. Gift Zaphoid. And then someone else earlier was commenting on it too. But I don't remember. What's my opinion on Zig? I haven't looked into Zig too closely. I recently went and looked at their like intro materials just to kind of familiarize myself with it. So yeah, I don't have much an opinion right now. Seen it occasionally where the battle 1 text doubles up. So this should be fixed. Yeah, let's go check that in. Oh, not this part. Not doing 1,000 damage. Actually, wait a second. Why did this lag for so long? Oh, because we're creating 1,000 text instances in one frame. I think that's why. We could eventually use something like a pool of floating text. These are performance improvements that hopefully we'll never need, but if we ever do, we'll do them based on need and not based on desire for improving performance with no actual proof. Why is this yellow? Oh my God. Sometimes I hate that. Is it still yellow? Of course. There. I thought private stuff went after the public stuff, but it turns out it doesn't go after fields. This is good. And what is this? This is not needed. Yeah, this should not be checked in. Okay, so fix bug with battle ending multiple times. A health component could emit an on died event multiple times. This could be seen as the fault of the ability doing damage for not checking if the entity is still alive. But it's good to have safeguards everywhere. Why is it not checking in? What's going on? Command enter isn't working. What? I can't even click. What? Hello, computer. Oh, there we go. I wonder if that's going to make like 7 commits now. It's not even checking in. What's happening? Oh, there we go. Yep. There's commit number 2, commit number 3, commit number 4, commit number 5. Anyone? Some good reason to use JavaScript for the backend. I wouldn't use JavaScript for anything. I would always use TypeScript from now on. And if that was your question, is like, is there a good reason to use TypeScript for the backend? And like, yeah, I could see so. There's a lot of times when you want isomorphic code. So the same general code on the server and the client. It would allow you to share things, or maybe you're doing, I don't know, you have a code base where you want to reuse functions or reuse expertise you have. Maybe you don't even have shared code between the client and server. And yeah, using TypeScript could be good in that case. I think there are so many ways you can architect good software now. And there are a lot of considerations you should make that it's hard to ever just give blanket answers. The reason why I'm pretty comfortable giving a blanket answer of don't ever use JavaScript is I think there are just too many ways to shoot yourself in the foot. And that's speaking from experience. I for 5 years was making Botland, and I made the entire thing in JavaScript. And it wasn't even just me. Hideo was working on it too. And just the amount of times when you look at a function, you're like, what is this taking in? Like, what is the shape of this object that's coming in? And it's just practically impossible to tell. And you have to go hunting through documentation or find out what it actually is at runtime. And just the ability to do something like this. You have an object and maybe it had some structure, and then you add in another property at runtime, and like no part of your code's ever going to know that. Who knows? Maybe this got changed by some in-flight request that you have, and it's just so hard to track things down. So that's where I think TypeScript is much better to use. Do you recommend going direct to TypeScript before JavaScript? Yeah, I think so. Especially if you've come from typed languages before, or strongly typed, statically typed, technically, languages. So JavaScript does have types. It just allows you to change them at will. So when you say that something is an integer, it does not stay an integer. You can just make it null or make it a string. If you would rewrite Botland, you wouldn't do it in JavaScript? No. 100% would not do it in JavaScript. If I were going the same route of make a web game, I would do it in TypeScript. But actually, the more I think about it, I would just use a game engine. I've seen some strong opinions online of like make your own game engine, and I think there are reasons to do this, but I don't think this is good general advice. I think good general advice is find something that probably fits for you and use that, because most likely your project's not going to get off the ground to begin with. And I say that with all of the realism of seeing hobby projects for years from tons of people just never go anywhere, including myself. And knowing that you're probably not going to finish your project, don't hamper yourself by adding other barriers to completing it. And I have a great video on this that I wish more people would watch. Whoops, that's not it. That's not even a video. Hang on a second. Where is it? Yeah, that. Okay, let me make a command out of that. Watch Adam's video on rapid prototyping here. Did I not paste? Is my keyboard just messing up? Like, what's going on? Where is... What is that? Prototyping. And what does it say? Is rapidly prototyping. Man, my whole computer is slowing down for some reason. What's going on? Is Godot being open? Is it this being open? I'm gonna close this too. Yeah. All right, what else did I miss? Sometimes you just have a bunch of people with knowledge in a certain domain and you need to ship something in a timely manner. If that domain is JavaScript, you'll be better off shipping the thing in JavaScript. Yeah, I generally agree with that. And I think this is a point that I feel like a lot of people don't consider. Sometimes you incur tech debt intentionally because you have a customer complaint or a P1 bug or a whatever, a need for more money from people. I have no idea. Could be anything. So I wouldn't ever say tech debt is a good thing, but accepting that because of the trade-off of, hey, we have to go train an entire team to do something can be a good thing. What would I pick? I mean, I'd probably pick Godot or Unity. It's hard to say because at its core, Botland had Blockly, and I think it'd be very hard to incorporate Blockly in anything other than web development. So I'd probably have had to make something from scratch, and I don't think that would have been easy. I really like programming the scripts in Botland. Yeah. Man, there were so many things I could have done better in that game. And even with doing all the things better, I still don't think it would have been that great. No, Hager an hour. I'm not saying as a blanket rule people don't get their projects done. I'm saying that that's the trend, and clearly people can finish things. But I think you're not focusing on finishing, then you won't finish. What are the stats for the recent videos, by the way? On YouTube, I think the stats are generally the same things that you can see, which is just views and stuff. Let me see if I can find something more. Where is this? How do I look at the analytics for this? I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this. Okay, 281 views, 14 watch hours. I've earned 32 cents. It's a lot of money. Please don't be jealous of this. And where's the average watch time? There it is. Average view duration, 3 minutes. That's pretty bad for a 6-minute video, I'd say. 32 cents. Whew, we're rolling in money. Need to be up in 6 hours. Good night. Thanks for a fun stream. Yeah, thanks for joining in, Yellow Purple. Have a good night. And I hope you enjoy being a Sleem later. I'm only mildly teasing. Thank you, Dan. It's been a good launch. I think people generally found it fun. I have the feedback thing here. And I can show you this first bit. So here's the breakdown. I had fun playing the game. 61% agree, 26% strongly agree, and 13% are neutral. Whereas with Idle Ascendants had a worse split for sure. So there was no one in the strongly disagree bucket, but there were 5 people who were like, yeah, this wasn't fun. And more neutrals and way fewer strong, well, not way fewer strong agrees, 1 fewer, but we had more responses. So yeah, different layout. Don't forget us, you're financially independent. I'm cruising out of here with my 32 cents. That's like a penny per week for almost a whole year. Any tips and tricks to get your assignment done for a snake game? Yes, it is talk to your fellow students and talk to your teacher. It is not talk to strangers on the internet. I know this sounds tongue-in-cheek, but seriously, this is what I recommend, because these are also people who are learning and they can probably help you better than I can. And your teacher, if you're struggling, can guide you much more than I could. So it might sound snarky. It really is not meant to be snarky. And yeah, the game is still playable, Takashi. I've had people come in over the years asking all sorts of things, from can you do my homework to like, how do I solve this one little piece of the problem? And I think if you have a very specific question, like, hey, I'm using Python and I'm trying to write a function to do this, and here's what I'm seeing instead, that's very different. But yeah, general help for making a snake game. Your teacher's angry 24/7? You can still ask them. I don't think that's a reason not to ask them. Yeah, I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you don't feel like asking your teacher for help. That's pretty much what your teacher's there for. All right, hover over the skill name for a main tip. Yeah, we got to make this clearer somehow. I don't know how we're going to do this. ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT for how to ask your teacher for help. Why not that? Yeah. But HM, I really think that's the route you should go. And I don't think any further discussion on this topic is needed. So how do we indicate this? I think we just make them look more like buttons. Yeah. And I'll probably write this in here somewhere. Do we have anything here about the skill tree? Well, now we're gonna. Although this isn't as important, so I'll put this in P1. Probably needs to be done before we launch, though. Make skill trees clearer. People didn't know that you could hover over the abilities to see their descriptions. And people didn't know that you could right click to remove points. So milestone, probably probably checkpoint number 2. How do you get started with programming? Yeah, that was really common for sure. And I think a lot of people, I feel like my audience is different from what it used to be. Or I don't know how to say this exactly. I feel like there were fewer totally new people to programming. And I think I'm getting more questions about like game dev specifically now. It's hard to say. It hasn't been too long that I've been back. Yeah. HM, I'm gonna insist now that you drop the topic. You don't need people here to DM you. Talk to your classmates, talk to your teacher. If you find difficulty taking that advice, then talk to your classmates about talking to your teacher. But this is not a productive conversation. All right, this has to do with one other thing that I had. Oh yeah, checkpoint number 2. I want to search for that. Yeah, so this, we're gonna add one more thing here, which is after releasing, push all checkpoint number 2 tasks to checkpoint 3. Game dev is what more recent is in learning for me. Yeah. I think what I was getting at is I started streaming back in 2015, and back then, like, programming streamers weren't really a thing. They kind of sort of were, and there were these platforms like, what was it called? Live EDU. Is that what it was called? I don't remember what it was called. Anyway, there was, maybe it was called that. There were platforms devoted to programming streamers because people thought, oh man, maybe this is the new thing. It was not the new thing. Yeah, live coding. Yeah. It never really totally caught on. And the category is bigger now than it was. And it's gone through a whole bunch of changes over the years, from creative to science and technology to software and game development. But back then, I think there were a lot of people who were like, I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know you could watch people program. And now it's been around for almost a decade. I think just the community has changed a bit. Yeah. How was that almost 10 years ago? Yeah, I know, right? I had a thing. No, I got rid of the command because no one asked about it. Oh, yeah. And I'm happy to answer questions like that. And I don't want to sound like I'm a curmudgeon who's like, I'm just not going to answer people's questions anymore. I have somewhat strong opinions on asking about homework questions. But yeah, when it comes to general things, you've seen people come in and ask all sorts of things, probably even in just the last couple months. And people used to ask things enough that I would start creating like YouTube videos about it. And yeah, okay. The thing I want to do here is go link this. Checkpoint 2, push all checkpoint 2 tasks to checkpoint 3. There we go. I think for account age, you just had to click your name. But yeah, October 12th, 2011. You've got a very old account. Yeah, those 32 cents really changed me. They've corrupted me. You know what I always say, if you don't get 32 cents from something, it's not worth it. All right, and then this should just go into the make clearer. That way I'm filing away all the feedback. Feedback from checkpoint 1. And then anything else about skill stuff? No, I think that's it. Oh, it might be a mod feature? Really? Oh, that's too bad. I feel like there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to see someone's account age on Twitch. And as a viewer, you might care. I mean, if you see, well, yeah, you might care. I'll leave it at that. When you hover over the text at the top left, there should be tooltips and rows. This is a very minor thing. What Oppressal was talking about here is I added tooltips to the buttons in the town menu, and they just span one line. So I never put new lines in there or anything. So if I hover over this, for example, well, that's not very long. Yeah, this one, for example. But these buttons are mostly going to get replaced. So I think it's worth taking a snapshot of this and just if we still have these in the game at some point to update them. So I'll go file an issue. But this is going to be like P2 for sure. Yeah, so fix built-in tooltips, fix/update. All right, so some tooltips are long and don't have new lines. And by the time we're finally tackling this issue, we should probably do a scan of all of the tooltips in the game and see if they still make sense. We probably won't have many traditional buttons anymore, i.e. we may have like pseudo buttons, like clicking a shop keep. Yeah. Whoops. See image below. Where did that go? Yeah, the image is there. Good, cool. All right, let's put that here. And then say feedback from checkpoint 1. Have I tried Arc? No, I have not. There were some conversations about this on Discord. And then I went and looked up Arc and tried to see what are they all about. It didn't seem super compelling to me, I guess. But I think I have a very, maybe not super custom workflow, but a lot of the links I go to are just on my homepage to begin with. And a lot of the things I might search, so like my command database, I just type C, hit space, and type something like Skell, and I go immediately to it. Or if I want to search, I don't know, Wikipedia for something, I type W and space and go right to it. So a lot of these things that I use often are already pretty much 2 keystrokes away. Do you like GitHub project stuff? I haven't used it as my work moved to self-hosted GitLab just before. I like it. I think there are just a couple of little things I would want to change. I think in general it works well. For one, there is a different view here than if you open up the issue itself. And for whatever reason, this view does not have an edit button right here. There is clicking this and clicking edit, but in the issue view, you have the pencil right there. Like, why is there no pencil right here? I want to edit this very frequently and I have to click 2 buttons instead of just 1. So that's very minor. The other things, I'd like for there to be a way when you're filing an issue to fill out all the different details about the issue. So if I click create new issue here, I can, well, I don't know, I type something like test and hit enter. So I can fill out the milestone, but I can't fill out the priority here for some reason. And there are things like that where it's just like, it's a little bit of an extra step to go through that. Close, yeah. Okay, red message over the storeroom overlaps and is unreadable. Yeah, these are little things that I should probably just look through at the end of checkpoint number 1 or checkpoint number 2 and see if we've fixed them. And if not, maybe do something about them. To be able to click the whole shop. Yeah, let's write that down. P0, like look through the checkpoint 1 feedback and see what's still relevant. These were things that are still potentially important, but didn't deserve their own issue. So these things, wouldn't pressing E edit it? I'm not actually sure. Let's go find out. Because I think at one point I looked into this. No, it doesn't. I'm not sure if editing is a thing here. Toggle edit mode for the focus cell. Maybe I can just press enter. No, I can't. Yeah, I don't think you can do it. Or maybe there's a shortcut and I just don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I'm pressing E right now, yeah. Okay, this. A screen where you can see stats on your town could be nice. Time played, money per minute, total battles. Some kind of DPS meter. How much loot you've lost. I think this is what the guild was supposed to be. I think adding this in could be good. Let's put this in checkpoint 2. Let's go take a look at the guild thing. I think it's a separate task. Yeah, there could be like a signboard outside of the guild. In fact, maybe it's a quest that you get that gives you this. It's probably not a very exciting quest if that's what you get. So no, we should probably just give you this by default. Yeah. Okay, so I'll add this in. I think it's a P1 though. Actually, it's not even a P1. It's like a P2 probably. P2, surface game stats to the player through the guild. Okay. Feedback from checkpoint 1. So the guild should have a signpost on it or near it. And we wrote about this in here. At least I think so. Yeah, where you should see stats about your upgrades and stuff. With stats about practically everything. Yeah. Milestone, I guess it's not really a P2 because this is how you see your upgrades. But yeah, something like that. A lot of bad Jira memories. It's like 30% of work hours to just interact with it. Yeah, I mean, I'm spending quite a lot of time interacting with this right now. But I guess that makes sense because we just released something and I've got a ton of feedback to file. And I feel like different people have different levels of process that they're okay with. And some people see this as a tax. I very much like organizing things this way. I think it's so nice. And the way I look at it is if there's an issue and you haven't written it down somewhere and there's not someone who's eventually going to look at it, that there might as well, you may never have found that issue. Hey, Orlin. And hey, Ski. Use Jira a bunch, but it's certainly a place where productivity goes to die. I think every process has a cost and every process has a benefit, and it's just like any other cost benefit analysis. Is it worth it? And at its simplest, I guess for just tracking stuff and assigning it to people, you could just have a shared notebook or whatever, but that's much harder to work with. I'm probably going to forego taking a break. I'm about to take a pretty long vacation, and this isn't very taxing work either. And I'm chatting quite a lot. What can I tell you about a B plus tree? I can tell you that whatever you're trying to do, you probably have resources online to do it. Are you doing leak code stuff, CatJam? Depends on who gets to make the structure when it comes to management. If you have bad people on top, then systems like that can create huge friction. Yeah, and I think an understanding of what your workers are going through is important. When it's two people working on something, much easier to just DM in Discord or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important to find something that works for whatever team is doing something, and it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all solution for every small team or every large team. And I think onboarding people to new process is sometimes quite a challenge. There's friction for those people to learn something, to just change their behaviors. Okay, when a battle's over, keep the window open. Yep, we have this already planned. I don't remember what this was planned under. Use blank space a little bit better. After a battle's been completed, yeah, this goes over here too. Cool. All right, so all UI feedback has been filed. Now for gameplay feedback. I like a worker counter. I don't think we're going to need this now that adventurers are going to act as workers. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna outright delete this. Sorry, Xanis. Maybe you might want an adventurer counter or something, but I was thinking you'd probably get houses in the game for your adventurers, so you'd just be able to count the houses. Well, I guess you could just count your workers. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue in the final game. Regenerating all their health instantly prevents, for example, any healing or defensive spells becoming useful. As soon as you beat the battle, there's no longer an incentive to upgrade the defensive spells. This is very tough. So what Puelo's saying here is, like, right now, battles are one room, and that's it. When they're over, you go to full life. So why get a defensive skill if you're winning the battle? Because any battle that you win with at least 1 HP remaining is as good as a win with 1,000 HP remaining. And that's true. There isn't a reason right now, but there might be a reason in the future. And either way, eventually, battles will have many rooms. But you'd still run into the same case where as long as you beat the final room with at least 1 HP, you might as well have beaten it with 1,000 HP because you're going to go back into full life at the end. And so we toyed with this idea of like, well, should life persist after the battle? And I don't think it's a good idea. So I think we're just going to keep an eye on this. I think I'll just add this as a question. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Questions, general gameplay. Do we still feel like, or what? Yeah, how do we feel about HP values persisting after a battle? Got this feedback on today. Yeah, I think the important part is that defensive abilities should have a place in the game. I think persistent life values would... Oh, I gotta put another thing in the checkpoint to launch. Go through the questions again. That's these. And then at some point, we got to go through all the ideas that were here and just see if there's anything worth incorporating. I'm going to write that down for something somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe a P1 thing. Look through ideas. Look through this list of ideas to see if there's anything worth doing. And we're going to say pre-launch. Great. Banned? I didn't ban you. And I'm glad you got what you need. I'm not trying to stop you from gaining knowledge or something. I think that my Twitch stream is not a place for asking repetitive questions about it. Nowadays, we just do a short stand-up. I think stand-ups need to be actual stand-ups. If your legs get tired, it means the meeting's too long. What have I missed? There was something I missed here I was going to do. Oh yeah, persistent light bars. That's right. Darkstormer said something. What happened to the town size on upgrade and display placement? I'm not sure what you mean about the town size thing. And yeah, I still don't know what we'll do about display placements or if we'll upgrade displays. But yeah, vote against persistent bars only inside the instance. Yeah, that's what I'm leaning toward as well. I just don't think it does good things for the game. Didn't you want to expand it horizontally? Oh, that? Oh, you mean the task? I think that's, yeah, that's here. You're just talking about this one? Yeah, that's a problem when everyone is sitting down. Well, I've been in stand-ups where everyone was standing and they still took forever. people, when given the microphone, quote unquote, I think sometimes just keep going. And it's like, hey, these are status reports. It's not what issue did you run into. It's like, do you need help? Are you blocked on something? I'm sure you've answered a couple times. Is it worth investing 2 years in learning web development through a formal education? What are the prospects of securing a job afterward? So it's hard. Welcome in, Biggie. It's hard for me to mention the prospects right now, only because I think the market is definitely in flux. I think jobs are harder to get, at least right now. And I think we're seeing a lot of ripple effects all over the place. I think the game industry just seems to be kind of suffering right now. And I think a lot of the reason why is inflation just leading to less discretionary income or less discretionary, what is it? I guess income. Yeah, pretty much. Less effective income. And then it's like less spending on that. When it comes to web development, I think web development is generally a pretty safe industry. And so then the second part of your question is whether it's worth spending 2 years and whether it's worth getting a formal education. And what I always kind of say for this is it depends on you. Do you work well in this environment? Did you generally like school? Do you pay attention? Do you learn from it? Are you able to pay whatever money it costs? I don't know where you are. You know, if you're in certain countries, you might have free education and then it's really just the years. But if you're in the US or you're considering a, I don't know, college here, yeah, it could be 2 years and also some number of tens of thousands of dollars, or maybe it's a boot camp or something. So if you operate well in that environment, I think it's a good idea. And if you don't operate well in that environment, or you think you can do it on your own, all the resources are out there. Nothing stops you right now from opening up a browser and a text editor and making your first website. And it's not like you'll make this a great site in your first day of coding, but you'll learn a lot, and you'll learn a lot the next day and the next day and the next day. And after some smallish amount of time, you'll have like a basic website. And then you can start learning more and more. But that requires you to have the motivation and to go seek out these resources and follow through on them. And that can get trying. So it's definitely a personal decision you have to make. The shop to expand horizontally. I think I know what you're talking about. Like the original images. I don't know. I'm going to just leave that on the back burner for now. That's why that Slack bot worked really well. People can type as much as they want. Yeah. Yeah. Game industry is suffering from execs buying whole studios and sacking the whole staff. That's one of the reasons. I think there are a lot of things that are going on in the game industry right now. And I think it's happening to all sizes and all expertise and levels of development. Square Enix just said that I guess like Final Fantasy isn't doing as well for them as a franchise. Like Rebirth didn't have as many sales as they thought. And they're considering switching from being PlayStation exclusives to targeting more platforms. And it's like, never thought I'd hear that. But I think that's the right move. I don't know how much PlayStation exclusives offer. Hey, Lack, thank you. Yeah, and I think this was all checkpoint number 1 today, but when we get to checkpoint number 2, I'm hoping that we've just improved on everything that people are expecting and we can keep making sure we're on the right path. Ideally, what we see happen is that feedback form that I had, which I keep pulling up over here. Yeah, ideally, we see this chart shift more toward the agree and strongly agree section. Like the best possible thing we could probably witness is just this blue taking up more and more of the graph. Yeah, but I'm heartened by at least seeing this. I think that's good. Yeah, Hef, I generally agree with this assessment. I think it's a combination of time and money. Oh, I feel like the money thing is hitting a little more sharply right now. Yeah. People are so against price inflation, you have to sell so many more copies. Yeah, by the way, that person, I don't know if you saw, there was kind of a funny thing on here. How did you find out about Skeleseller? And there were only 3 answers. Through me, 94%, turtles, 1 answer, and then you. Just another answer. So there you go. I don't know who that was. Do you know who that was? You don't have to tell me. Just like, do you know who you told about? Yeah, thank you for marketing. Anyway, yeah, the price inflation I think is real. And I was talking about this with mobile games. Like really prominent mobile games sometimes sell for $5 or $7, and that's like a high mobile price to pay. And every other mobile game is just like $0 or $1, and then tons of microtransactions. Adventurers at max would be the end game right now, right? Yeah, pretty much. If you've beaten the third battle, then that's about it. That's all you can really do. It's so common to read on Reddit and other places. Such an unfair comparison. Yeah, yeah. And some games, I mean, like Terraria was a runaway success. It was $10 for the entire time, I think. And yeah, sure, it sold so many copies that they made a boatload of money. But this game, for example, I think if we keep on this path and we keep improving things, I think this game can do well. And I think doing well probably means in the like low tens of thousands of dollars, like gross. So then Steam takes a 30% cut, the government takes a cut, and then finally you can, dole out pay to everybody. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, who knows? Maybe it does worse or better than that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think he can get a decent number of sales, and that would be a successful game. And it's like, this is not worth pursuing every single year if I'm trying to make a living off of this. Yeah, I'm left with $500. I'm left with 32 cents. Hey, Bald Bearded Builder, welcome in. Hi, BBB's viewers. We have been working on Skeleseller for the last month to the day, and today I launched a playable version of it, which you're welcome to try out. If you've been seeing this repeatedly, it's the same general game that you're seeing. Now there's a bit of a gameplay loop, so you can hire an adventurer and then start a battle. Your adventurers fight automatically, and when they win, they give you items in your storeroom, which your skeleton will then go pick up, put into a shop, and customers will buy it. And then with that money, you can upgrade your adventurers, your shop, everything else. So basic gameplay loop, you can play for about 30 minutes, and then there's no more real content for you to experience. But I've gotten some good feedback today. We are planning for the next checkpoint, which is probably gonna be another couple months from now. Do we feed you corn with our bits? I mean, you can try. I don't have anything that's gonna. Maybe I go connect a can to USB and have it open itself. Is there a stream that does that? Because that sounds pretty cool. Some sort of animal sanctuary, I guess. Did I miss something else? In a friend who likes idle games. Got it. Okay, yeah. Thanks to person. Do you still want feedback? I will say this. I have gotten a ton of feedback to the point where I think the most glaring issues are now known. So it wouldn't hurt. But if, let's say you said, I'm only going to give you feedback once, Adam, I would say save it for later. So do with that what you will. Used to be the most popular stream in science and tech. Oh, maybe I had seen it. I just never watched it. Okay. Anyway, auto battle button. I think let's just file this under ideas for now. I don't know for sure that I want to add this in. Yeah, so what just happened today? Auto battling. Well, it's really automatically starting battles. Oh, definitely play. Yeah. I think it's worth playing. I have a lot of feedback to go through, and we've already gotten, I think, as many responses as we got for Idle Ascendance. Pretty much. Idle Ascendance is at 36. This is at 33 right now. So yeah, doing pretty well. It's not concerning, but if we release the game and it's successful, I suspect we're going to try to get it to work on mobile. That is not going to be fun. All right, any plays to add some type of personality traits to workers or customers. Yeah, I think this could be another cool idea to add in. So I'll put this down over here. Maybe I'll just put like checkpoint 1 feedback or ideas from feedback. Mostly on today, yeah. Okay, automatically start battles. This is differentiate adventurers in the overworld, which I'm cool with doing. What is this? Game feels a bit too micromanaging, in my opinion. Not sure if that's a goal you're going for, but it can feel a bit stressful having to start battles, manage upgrading shops, buying new workers, choosing player skills, etc. You know, it's kind of interesting. Stardew Valley is meant to be like the same general gameplay ideas where it's like a chill game. There's no major penalties for anything. There's no way to totally shaft yourself. There's, I don't know. And yet there's a clock for each day. And when the clock runs out, you feel like, did I accomplish something today? Do I want to play again? And that clock can stress people out. I kind of wanted this to be the same general structure here. Like it's chill. There's no way to go back in levels. You can't lose out or make terrible decisions or anything like that. And yet I think there is still that pressure of, oh, well, I want to progress. I want to optimize. So I don't know if this is a bad thing. But either way, I don't know what I could do about the feedback right now. So for now, I guess let's just put it into this Scratch document. Although I'm probably not going to look at it again for now. So let's just see if the feedback pops up more. Prevent people from going to sleep, assuming there are no auto battles. Maybe. Yeah. Get more stress from clocks in casual games like Stardew than in proper timed games. I think it's the need to optimize. I think that's what feels stressful sometimes. Every once in a while, I get these anxiety dreams where I'm just debugging. It's like the worst kind of dream. I hate it because I'm not actually solving a real problem. It's all in my dream. And yet I'm just looking at code the whole time. I wonder if there's some effect like that that's going on. You're like, oh, I want to optimize and this is tapping into something that's keeping me here and yet somehow still a little bit stressed out. Yeah. All right. Having rarity on the loot would be cool. Okay. A bunch of people mentioned this and I think it's worth doing. And I think we need to figure out how we do it. But do we have this mentioned somewhere? Rarity, critical sales. Okay. I'll write item rarities. Actually, I'll put this down here. Item rarities, keyword rare / epic / legendary, whatever. Just to give an idea of what I'm searching for here. Yeah, we need a slightly different loot system, but I think that could be kind of cool to do. Maybe just like some glowing swords or something like that. Yeah. I think it would be neat. And I think finding more and more of these things would be neat. I like this idea quite a lot. I'm going to write a star next to it. Okay, one thing I didn't put in this survey, if an item shop is full, okay, I wrote this down here. If alchemist is full, workers holding a potion, why can't they swap it with an axe? Yeah, this is something we got to put in the AI issue. This one, not real AI, just the AI of, old video game. Yeah, we could look into shaders for this. They could even just be sprite effects. They could be particle systems. It could be any number of things. But I think having rare loot could be kind of cool. Okay, so what was I about to paste into here? Oh yeah, swapping. Yeah, I wrote that down. Okay, then we'll just copy paste this. Checkpoint 1 feedback. Okay. By the way, if anyone is at all curious, I have a key on my keyboard for backtick, but then I have another key for triple backtick. So I can type lots of backticks really fast. And it's only helpful when typing code blocks. But still worthwhile. All right, can you make the battles more interactable? Give the player options to do some stuff. Hi, cat. Oh, no. I always have to open up a new buffer when she comes over. Hi. Do you just want to park yourself there? Just lick your tail right on my keyboard? Okay. It's always hard to type when she's around. Okay, you want to let me? Oh, she's licking my hand now. What a cute cat you are. All right, but I have work to do. No, it's not petting time. She's like, you're not the boss of me. I command you, human. Seriously? Oh, cat. Project managers arrived. Yeah, here. I'll zoom out so you can see her. Yeah? You having fun? There's no lap for you to sit on. You're just going to need to keep circling over here and messing up anything I try to type in. Oh, she's purring now. What a good cat. So shedding all over the place. All right, cat. Each page gives me no idea what kind of game it is. Yeah. This was mostly for people who joined through the stream, who are already like, oh, I know this is a game I want to check out. I think it was very fun. It's a great start. Thank you. Thank you for giving the feedback and for playing, Ski. Yeah, we definitely need to work on the marketing stuff. Where is... Oh, what a good cat. Yeah, there's well, hey, she gets swatty when I pet her from like the front of her head. If I pet her from behind her head, she doesn't care. Yeah. Yeah, I need to put a video up or something. I like these forced breaks, but I do need to get back to work. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people transition as adults to different careers or industries, and they seem to do really well most of the time. And I think it's that you're making an informed decision about what you want to do rather than a guess. When you're 17 or 18 and you enter college and you're like, yeah, I think I want to work with computers, you don't know how you're going to feel after another like quarter of your life has passed by. So it's a guess, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't. And it's still more of a, it's a guess as an adult. It's just less of a guess, I think. Like the premise reminds me of Moonlighter. Oh, good. She jumped off the desk. Haha, haha. You fool. You've allowed me to work, which means I'm not paying attention to you. Hey, Spherophoria. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid, and welcome in all the viewers. I just had the cat on my desk, and she was causing a bunch of chaos. That back to where it was. We just launched Skeleseller today, the first checkpoint. So it's a very early alpha. If you want to play it, here's the link. And I'll show you a quick overview of the game because there's like no marketing materials out there whatsoever. But you run a town and you hire adventurers to go into battle for you. And they fight these battles automatically and they earn you items. And then you sell the items in your shop. So that's the basic foundation of the game. You use the money you get to upgrade all sorts of different things. There's about half an hour of gameplay right now if you want to check it out. So not very long. It is a download. It's not a web game anymore. And yeah, it's working. You know, actually no one's complained about any like major game breaking bugs. There are bugs for sure, but nothing like the game crashed on me. So yeah, but I'm very excited about this still, and I think it's great to get feedback on this. Yeah, nothing has broken a grape yet. All right, so interactable battles I don't think are going to happen here. Discord integration is a very cool idea, and I wonder how hard it is to add. Do they have something in Godot for this already? Because that'd be nice. As opposed to me doing something. Let's see, Godot, Discord integration. Rich presence in Godot. I just want to see, is there some like baked in thing that people have done? Plugin link? Okay, yeah, there's a plugin link. And maybe this is the kind of thing we can use. Is this being maintained 2 years ago? Download the game SDK, extract, start the project. I mean, if it's not that hard to do, yeah, if it's not that hard to do, I can just do this myself probably. What's that keyboard? It's a Corn keyboard. Yeah. How was your stream, Spherophoria? I totally understand if you have to run. What would you use it for? I think it just shows you that you're playing this game. So in Discord on the right side, like right now it says streaming just launched, a very early thing. I think you could have it say playing Skeleseller. Am I understanding that correctly? Yeah, I think that's how this works. Don't you just have to register a game for this? I don't know. Privacy invasion. I mean, you get to set whether you want this to show, right? I think you can have it not show that. But I think it's worth at least writing down as a task, and we can think about this. I don't think it's P0. So I'll put in the P1 section, which is growing and growing and growing. Integrate with Discord rich presence. Is that what it's even called? No, it's not called rich presence. Presence. This. Let's copy this over to feedback from checkpoint 1. There we go. Look into this. Or maybe plugins for it. Yeah. Milestone, I think just pre-launch. Okay, pretty much maxed on everything. Noticing that you can keep buying storeroom upgrades. Also seems that workers are grabbing items from random spots that are visually not there. Yeah, it was just the axe graphic. Okay, I think that's all good now. Okay, and then finally we're on the font stuff. Okay. Extra info in your activity. If you, I'm still gonna just leave it as a task because I don't know exactly how this works, but I'd like it to show up. I think that'd be pretty cool. But it's a very low priority thing compared to a lot of other pre-launch tasks. And yeah, maybe we could have it list how much money you have in the game or something. I mean, maybe that's fun. Actually, maybe I should write that down. Maybe it could report how much total money you've earned. Show what repo you work on, file, etc. E.g., Darkstorm is playing Skeleseller and has a town worth 1.23 million. People can still see you play with no details. I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not sure how it works. Yeah. Yeah, more details might entice someone to check it out. I'm not really sure. It might not take very long to do either. And yeah, I'll have to research all of that stuff. All right, weird text scaling issues. Scaling on fonts is weird. Then this is a separate category we need to put. Man. Okay, so the blurry fonts, I mean, I think we already have a task for this. Yeah, this. Oh, I think the cat's going to jump up again and probably just delete this entire issue that I'm typing. Checkpoint 1 feedback. Cool. Hi, cat. You want to come up? What a good cat. So these are like final launch things. Build exports. Do I have like Apple dev program here or whatever? Signing. No. Well, I definitely need this. Figure out how to export all builds from a machine. I just did this. Nice. Oh, this. Yeah. Get a signing certificate. Okay, so we'll say prep final builds for export. Yeah. Keyword sign, notarize, Apple. Save that. So we need all of these things in there. Okay, get a signing certificate. Export builds already done. Make sure builds don't have debug functions in them. Yeah. So get the Linux build to be named Skeleseller instead of Linux. And then export with a custom icon on Windows. That'll mean installing RC Edit. And then sign the binary even on Windows so that Defender doesn't complain. Okay. May not need to do this on Steam, but on itch, it'll probably be needed. Hey, Robobobato. This is the first time I actually see someone using this keyboard. Corn, I believe. Yep, this is a corn. Yep. And yeah, I love it. I think it's a great keyboard. You fix this with the integer scaling, but that changes something in the resolution on your end. I mean, we can do that. We just then need to maximize the game every time I launch it, right? What I was saying about that originally when we were looking into this is, how do I... Yeah, what I was saying originally about this is that we need to provide resolution settings so that people can control this themselves and not have any issues. Where's the, yeah, maximize. We set this to full screen. We make it kind of annoying to alt tab back and forth, but this should fix a lot of that. Yeah. Just thinking if there's something else there. I don't know. Mostly gets rid of scrolling artifact. The Windows build was also called Windows. No, I wasn't aware. But that does make sense. I don't know what it's called on Mac either, now that I think about it. Get the Windows build to be named this instead of Windows. Very funny. Why are there pads if the NPCs have no respect? Yeah, they will have respect eventually. Teach them to stay off the grass. All right, let's revert those couple of things I just did. We can keep them eventually. Integer, yeah, there. Okay, so then we're just left with some ideas. Yeah. Spent almost the entire day taking in feedback and filing tasks and bugs and ideas. I also designed a little bit around some upcoming changes, e.g. adventurers being workers. By the way, the whole adventurers being workers, I think this is like having life regen in the game. You want your adventurers to start moving the items around yourself or for you. So it's like the time you would have used to regenerate life. All right, Abby is going nuts. I think she really wants attention, so I should probably get going. We filled out the journal. Bump this down to here. Yeah, so my other homework is going to be file all these ideas. There's a lot still to do. Yeah, great day though. Absolutely great day. I am, like I said, I'm very enthused at how this has been taken. I think people have had fun. I even had fun playing it. I showed it to my wife last night, and 17 minutes in, she's like, "This is so much better than Idle Ascendants." It's like I'm having fun playing. I'm like, that's great. We're doing something here. We're doing it. And the 10 minutes I've been playing is to auto repeat the last battle round kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that's on the radar. I don't know for sure when that would go in, but we've got plenty of stuff to work on after this. All right, I'm gonna go find someone to raid. Abby is like nonstop meowing now. I want to make sure I can play with her. Let's go find somebody. Have I raided this person before? I've been trying to raid all new people. I don't think I have. Yeah. God, this is like impossible to tell because of how my followers list is laid out. Following list. Yeah, I don't think I have. Okay, we're gonna raid this person. I try to find English streamers who have not been online for like 10 hours. Because I have raided people before and they've just immediately gone offline. All right, well, thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining. If you want to go check out other things, there's Discord and YouTube. I am going to be back on Monday, but then on Wednesday, I'm going to be taking vacation for quite a while. So there's going to be a lot of no stream days coming up. Yeah, that's it for me. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks again for playing. See you later.